PEN Burlington, Philadelphia. A Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Philadelphia Union Soccer, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Good morning. Thought I'd help you wake up.
It's 6 a.m. and you're listening to The John Kincade Show, Philadelphia's longest-running sports talk morning show.
Excuse me, what'd you say?
On 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Let the party begin!
The show starts now.
We get rolling on this Thursday morning, March 16th. John Kincade Show on The Fanatic. So many things to talk about today. Wild occurrences. Robots.
Howie never sleeps, John.
Either do the Slays. Dude, what a crazy night. I have spent 25, 30 minutes on Spot Track and a couple other NFL websites trying to figure out what in the hell happened yesterday with your Philadelphia Eagles. We know this. According to self-reporting, Darius Slay's back. We had already known that James Bradbury was back. We know that Fletcher Cox is back. I just can't figure out how they're going to pay for it all and how they're going to be able to do it.
You don't have to. That's what Howie's for. He figures all this out.
Well, yeah. Unless this is just one big game of kick the can.
Who cares?
I do. I don't want to see salary cap hell next year where you've just gone, okay, well, we've given out 3 of the Lifetime Achievement Award contracts to Kelsey, Graham, and Cox to bring them back. Every one of them at the end.
Why are you looking at negative? Don't look at negative. They're bringing it back. It's good. They're bringing back. We were so nervous about them losing all these players. They didn't lose all these players. They brought them back. The defense that you so lauded last year that you loved. That you just wanted to, caress Jonathan Gannon about, they brought those guys back.
Is Gardner Johnson back? Did I miss? Wait, did I miss that?
All right. Oh my God.
No,
seriously?
I'm saying is
you're going to look at that.
No.
Not yet. He's not.
He's not.
Not yet.
I would rather have, if it is one of the two, I'm working under the assumption, and it may be wrong, that it was 1 out of 2. Slay was gone yesterday. He was gone yesterday afternoon. He's not gone now.
He's never really gone.
He said he was gone.
I showed you the text that me and my friend.
Yeah, but he said he was gone.
My friend and I at 5:57 yesterday afternoon texted back and forth to each other saying Slay's coming back, and us both saying, yeah, I think that's the game plan.
Why would you think that when he said I'm gone?
I just had a feeling.
What was the feeling?
The feeling was he was coming back. I showed you the text. It's real.
Yeah, you did.
And at 5:57, my friend and I said, you know what? I think he's coming back. Yeah,
okay.
Me too.
If they bring back Slay, Bradbury, and Gardner Johnson, Pat, I refuse to ever again believe that the salary cap is even exists. Because I tried to do the math this morning about what could they pay CJ Gardner Johnson. And by the way, how are they going to pay Jalen Hurts? I can't figure any of it out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. I don't have an answer for you, man.
I mean, you don't know either, right?
C-level math student. I have no idea what's going on.
I have no idea. Honestly, I have zero idea what's going on.
I feel like I'm in a football fever dream right now, and I have no clue what the hell is happening. But, he's gone. He's back.
His wife announces the news
tweeting.
First.
I just go on our Instagram.
So, listen, I thought C.J. Gardner-Johnson would be coming back yesterday.
So did I.
And that's when we still thought that Slay was here under his contract. They're reworking his contract to get more money. Don't love the $10 million for Fletcher Cox. I'll be honest there. Don't love it.
Nope.
But with all this going on, nothing much has changed to say, why can't they bring C.J. Gardner-Johnson back?
Well, you can't if you're going to pay – if you're paying Jalen Hurts. And that's one of the things Connor said in passing this morning is, so are they not paying Hurts?
Yeah, because they're paying Hurts.
How are you going to pay?
You keep worrying about something that's not there to worry about. It's really not. You think all of a sudden now they're going to say, oh, damn, we don't have enough money to pay Jalen Hurts. No.
Okay,
they have it. They'll do it.
All right. If you got C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I'm sitting here doing the math. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's going to want a raise, correct? Is that a false assumption?
Everybody wants a raise.
He's going to want a raise. He's not coming back for the same amount of money he made last year, where he felt he was incredibly underpaid. he comes back in even at like less than Jesse Bates. I don't know how they can pay Hurts.
Oh, they're going to pay Hurts. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. The math doesn't matter.
You really think that Howie does? Oh, shoot. I did all this, and now I don't have enough money to pay Jalen Hurts?
I think the plan is, but I just don't know what else is leaving. And to me, it's got to be – I don't understand how they be able to do this.
I don't understand any of it. I honestly don't. I don't understand how they do the money. I don't understand how they kick the money, kick the can. I don't understand how you can give guaranteed and it doesn't come off your cap. I don't understand any of it. But Howie does better than anybody.
He does.
And Hurts is going to get paid, and Hurts is going to get a really good contract, and Hurts is going to be your quarterback here for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Right.
And the guys that he's bringing back are good that we all wanted back. It just all worked. And Howie does it. And we don't have to question it.
Wait a minute. You do have to question it.
No, you don't. What do you have to question?
You have to question because the future matters in football. You can kick it down the line where you just say, okay, we're going for it for 1 year, and then you've set up stuff to screw yourself down the line. Sour Cat, we've seen it with teams before.
Howie's not with the Eagles.
This is the worst mental gymnastics Howie's ever had to do. I would believe. I don't think, Pat, you're a C-level student. I was probably a B- in math.
Congrats.
Very good. I struggled to get that B-. But I honestly, I can't figure it out. And I'm going to some of these sites.
Either, but that's his strength. So I'm sure he'll figure it out. I mean, he could front load a contract. He can back load a contract. He can, and that's maybe what he ends up doing is signing Hurts to a contract where he gets a minimal raise for the next year, and the cap hit is virtually non-existent, and then he backloads the contract, knowing that if Jalen Hurts is really, really good, then he'll just rework the contract, and if he ends up sucking, then he can just cut him.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out because the as I'm looking at it, I'm going, is there any way that Jalen Hurts has agreed to play under his?
Why are you worried about that? Why are you worried about it? Look at this team that you're rooting for, that you want to be good. You wanted Bradbury back, check. You wanted Slay back, check. You know, like these guys that you wanted back, they came back.
I wanted Bradbury, Gardner Johnson back.
You still may get Gardner Johnson.
Okay, I may. And if that happens,
I don't know how anybody's coming out this morning after Slay signs, after being disappointed yesterday. And then you come out and say, yeah, but look at the future. I don't know how they're going to do that. You remind me of my wife. Stop looking at the future. Look at what's going on now. You wanted these guys back. They got them back. Be happy.
Not all the guys that I wanted back did I get back. You got back the guy you wanted. What do you mean?
Me?
Well, no, say
bringing me.
Slay and Bradbury.
I say you as generalization.
Oh, okay.
If I'd have said to you,
the royal you.
I mean,
the royal.
You got back both of your starting corners, who last year was the best duo of corners in the league.
And I would have moved on. I had a difference of opinion with you. I would have moved on from Slay.
But and you still might get Gardner Johnson.
I'm glad to have Slay back. If it is,
you don't sound like you're glad.
If it's a great deal, it's fine.
What do you care about the deal?
Because I do care about the deal.
Why? It's
because
not
it's
your
a salary cap sport.
It doesn't matter. The salary cap doesn't come into play with the Philadelphia Eagles. This just in, John. It never has. It doesn't.
It never.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
When has it?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't understand how this is all being done.
You're so reminding me of my wife right now. You're worrying about something 10 years down the road when you have something good right in front of you. Don't.
Why is it 10 years down the road?
I was exaggerating.
No, I mean, but I'm saying is that I'm not. It's
don't be happy. I want you to smile.
I am
smile.
I wanted something different than you wanted. Obviously.
What did you want different?
I want C.J. Gardner Johnson.
You don't know you're not getting him.
I don't, but I also know that yesterday Slay was gone, Bob. His wife and him said he was gone.
Right?
Something changed.
Yeah.
Something changed financially with the Eagles.
Okay.
That he was brought back.
Did you want him back?
I wanted Gardner Johnson.
You still may get him also.
I still may, but I wanted all of a sudden something with the Eagles' finances changed. I don't know what that is, especially when they gave $10 million to Fletcher. No, I don't agree with. No, I don't either. I think it could be I didn't want Fletcher Cox back either.
No, I did. See, here we go. You made no sense yesterday in your Fletcher Cox not wanting him back, but you wanted Linval Joseph.
Okay, we're gonna see how it all works. You know why? Because Linval Joseph could come back for $2.5 million.
But he might not be as good as Fletcher Cox. He played 10 games last year. He was sitting on the street, in your words, and nobody else in the NFL wanted him.
And yes, I do worry about the salary cap.
Don't.
I got you.
No, you don't have to.
No, I do.
John, don't worry about the bills. You don't have to pay them, buddy.
I'm not doing that.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not going to end up with Tom Selleck at my door.
You don't have to, because he's not coming to your door.
What?
If Tom Selleck is coming to the Philadelphia Eagles to say, all right, we need to talk about this
The
a little
reverse
bit,
mortgage.
he's not looking you up. So don't worry about it.
Hey, Bradford White Water Heaters are here for the pro. Coach in the Morning Mindbender says over 44 million of these were sold in the U.S. last year. The last time the number was that big, it was 1987. What is it?
You're probably the best at this game, but I think I have a really good guess on this one.
Cornerbacks. These are the jokes.
How about safeties? Here we go. Last over 44 million of these.
I will go with...
I only have this in my mind because I've recently done it twice.
You want to go first?
I'm going to say used cars.
Oh, that's a really good
that
one,
is
Bobby.
a great one.
Damn you, Bobby, because I was going to go with record players.
44 million?
But that's a lot of record
That's a
players.
That's
lot
a
of
lot of
record
record players.
I don't think there's that many records out.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
but
so
you
all of a
could be
sudden
right.
you-
I hope you're right, Pat.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Because, today is about feeling good for everybody.
You made no sense with your stupid used car thing.
Okay, I have no idea.
So off
I
base.
honestly have no idea, Coach. How about homes?
Ooh.
Yeah, no, all good guesses.
Oh, shut up. You're
What
stupid.
was it?
Pat actually had it close.
He did?
Wow,
And
Pat.
again, when you come into work every day and you get on the elevator, you have to look at the iPad in the elevator. I get a lot of these from the iPad.
Okay.
44 million vinyl records were sold last year. 31 million
There's been a rebirth, right?
CDs,
Yeah.
correct. The last time over 44 million vinyl records were sold back in 1987.
I have not gone to the vinyl as far as like going and purchasing we have vinyl. My wife and I both have vinyl records that, like, not a lot, not like a big collection or anything, but I do not have a player to play them on.
Our son Kyle is into collecting vinyl records, and he got a record player.
So we did.
That
a
has,
new one or an old one?
It's the new types that also have
Okay.
a CD in them, and and now he's into collect. So we gave him a bunch of vinyl records that Donna had saved through the years. So there's some like Billy Joel and like some Springsteen and stuff like that she gave to him,
You
and
think
now
it
he's
sounds
into
different?
collecting them.
The phonograph record?
Hell yeah!
You like better?
No,
No, I don't either. I think it sounds
no,
terrible.
because you hear the.
I don't know why why the nostalgia came back for that, for vinyl. I could see for collecting it, but not for using it.
I don't know if it's the novelty of it. Like, look what our parents used to do, and they actually put a
gosh.
needle down on a vinyl record and listen to it. And nothing's better unless you put the nickel on top.
Remember the little plastic things you used to put in the 45s?
It looked like Superman.
Yeah,
it
you
looked
used
like
to
a
put it in
Superman
the
symbol. Yeah.
emblem. Hey, Discover credit cards do something awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back that you've earned. That's right. Maybe this is how Howie's doing it. Everything you earned is doubled. See terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match. That is I just am, my jaw has dropped in the mathematics of one Howie Roseman. So Bob must have been the best math student amongst us. Because that was like
No, I'm the
that was
worst.
like a low B. You were the worst?
I'm the worst because I'm letting somebody else do it. I don't care. Look, you can solve this math problem. Why? I don't have to. It's your business, not mine. Howie is solving the math problems. We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about it.
It is okay to ask how something is being done and
No.
why finances changed.
All right,
Listen,
so if he tells you, is that
okay, go on.
Well,
Pat.
let me just take this one, Bobby, before you jump in here. Wrong on that. You don't need to know how things happen. Like a hot dog. I don't want to know how.
Yeah,
a hot
no one.
dog's
You're
made.
right.
Scrapple. Don't want to know. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. Bobby, take it away.
You're right, Pat?
So sometimes it's just best to have the ignorance.
Yeah. I don't understand how anybody's getting paid on that team right now. Now, you can question, is it a good idea to bring these guys back?
Yes, and I do.
There's that. But what other choices did you have? I mean, if you're concerned about money, like, are you going out there and paying, top dollar for another D? You still have really good draft picks. You still have number 10. You still have number 30. Do with them what you will. And you tweeted out yesterday saying you still don't think that either one of them are going to be had by the Eagles, that they're going to trade both of them out.
Yeah, and then just trade back, accumulate more picks.
Yeah. Look,
'Cause
this
I don't
offense is
believe-
going to
yeah.
this offense is going to be phenomenal.
Oh, it's going to be great.
And it's going to be great. You need a defense that can kind of like set things up, hold teams at bay, whatever. They don't need to be a top 3-2 offense, and I don't think they will be. And I think last year was more of an anomaly than anything. But, when we went into this thing and we were talking about, oh, God, you might lose this, that, and the other, and you're going to lose this, and you did lose that. Well, on the whole, when you step back and look at it, I think you have to be pleased with what's going on, right?
I can't comment on how the meal tastes when the chef hasn't brought it out yet.
Well, you want to know how the chef prepared it.
No, I do. I want to know if C.J. Gardner-Johnson's coming back, arguably one of the most impactful players on the entire team last year.
I
want to know if he's coming back.
This. I never heard you before say how much you love C.J. Gardner-Johnson until this morning.
I loved it the day he got acquired. I argued with you about it.
I know, but I didn't.
The day they acquired
we haven't
him,
talked
I was
about
excited
losing him
about
this
him.
much until now.
No, I said even yesterday, I said he's the guy I didn't want to. I was fine with losing Slay if it meant keeping Gardner-Johnson.
But
I was fine with it.
It appears they're not hand in hand.
We'll find out about that. I find it very awkward that he's not back. That he wasn't signed.
Well, as you said, yeah, exactly. Nobody else has either.
No, it is.
And you
if
made
it
that
goes-
point yesterday, and you were right yesterday.
And if
Yesterday, you were right.
And now it's, I don't know. Something changed between 10:30 in the morning and 10:30 at night with the Eagles' finances. And Slay absolutely did the I'm gone. Thank you for your time. Love you, Philly. It was great. His wife is at home crying, saying how
Well, they
much
released him.
how much she loved being an Eagle.
Yeah.
That she loved being a part of this city and part of this community.
But now she's making banana pudding for everybody.
and now
John.
she's back to the. I don't know if
I think
she's
that's
doing
his
that.
mom. I think his mom makes the pudding.
But she brings it, right? Does she bring it?
So she's the Grubhub driver?
I don't know if she is or not. Watch that, by the way. We saw that on the news the other night.
What?
The amount of
Grubhub?
criminals that are gaining access to people's homes now, home invasions by food delivery. They fake a food delivery. You answer the door like to say, oh, it's not like Grubhub, and they're standing at the
Get
door with a
excited.
bag. And then when you open the door, then 3 people jump out and storm into your house.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about that.
You know,
Gonna be honest with you.
I had a guy come and ring the doorbell yesterday, and my wife kind of got mad at me for this.
do you answer?
So I'm sitting and our dog starts going crazy. Now we have like a pit bull. So
Yes.
that dog won't mess around if
No.
a stranger tries to do anything. But anyway, I open the door. I go towards the door and I look outside first, and I see the guy backing up so that he's many steps away. And I open the door. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry not to be ignorant, but I don't do business this way.
And what was it? Do you know?
Remodeling something
Oh,
or whatever.
okay, yeah.
I said, I don't do business this way, so please don't come knocking anymore. And
That's
I just
good.
shut the door.
That's
I
very
said,
kind.
thanks.
That's nice
I
of
said,
you.
have a good day.
See, now I would sit with the Ring doorbell if I see somebody that looks like they're a canvasser, I would literally sit there and go, can I help you? Right through the Ring doorbell and say, can I help you? No, I don't really want to answer the door. So, hey, we had great news last night, though, in Cleveland, including a controversy that went the Sixers' way. We'll get to that next. John Kincade Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. If you're getting ready to move or you're
On Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Be listening later today during the 7 o'clock hour today. And you could win the tickets to Knockout coming up on Wednesday, March 29th. You'll head down in the court after the game, get a pair of tickets to the game, and then you get to play a game of Knockout with us with the Fanatic. You'll listen to the Sounder in the 7 o'clock hour. And it's all brought to you by Ferguson HVAC, your Delaware Valley Train heating and air conditioning distributor. Visit Train.com to find a Train HVAC dealer near you. I have reached out to Joel Corey, who is a talented capologist and everything for CBS. Have had the pleasure of having him on many times, so I made a reach out to him this morning to try to figure it out because of something that he wrote for CBS that happened yesterday. This may explain the entire situation. I don't understand it, but this is what Joel Corey writes. A 10-day window for the Eagles to pick up options in wide receiver A.J. Brown's contract and edge rusher Hassan Reddick's contract opens up yesterday. With Brown, a $10.17 million payment is required for a dummy 2027 contract year. His 2023 base salary reduces from a fully guaranteed $11.25 million to a fully guaranteed $1.08 million. And the remaining of his contract goes to fully guaranteed. For Reddick, a $15 million payment is required for a dummy contract year in 2027, and his base salary reduces from a fully guaranteed $16.25 to a fully guaranteed $1.08 million. So this would require, as I'm reading it, if Jeffrey Lurie wrote a check for $25 million, $15 million, $15 million to Hassan Reddick, and he writes a $10 million contract. He runs a $10 million check to A.J. Brown. Their salaries for this year would drop to $1.08 million, both of them. And that may be that may be where this money has come from. Now, I have not read this from anyone else but Joel Corey at CBS. I've not read any of this locally or otherwise, and it is on CBS Sports website. So I've reached out to Joel, see if he'll join us a little bit later on this morning when he gets up. So he's probably will head to the gym at some point. Hopefully he'll get my message, and we'll get a little explanation because I don't understand it. But if Jeffrey Lurie went to his checkbook and said, "Yeah, I'll write a check for $15 million to," I'm going to have to pay it anyway.
You get $15 million,
and
you get $10 million, and you can bring him back, and you can bring him back,
and then it's $1.08 million this year for Reddick and A.J. Brown. All right, Pat. Even a C math student can understand that would be some pretty good math, but it requires your owner to write some big checks.
Luckily, we have an owner that is willing to write big checks.
And I think he's got the money. I don't think Jeffrey Lurie's like walking into the bank and having them say, "Can we pull your credit, Mr. Lurie?" I think he's doing okay. That $25 million to say, okay, that would be, you're just giving the money up front. And honestly, too, for both of them, it makes the 2027 contract for both of them able to be moved on from if they wanted to. It appears that's what it means. I'll see what Joel Corey has to say if we get a chance to talk to him later on. We will be out at PJ's new location, PJ Wellahan's, in Doylestown on opening day, which is 2 weeks from today. We'll help you welcome PJ's 22nd area location in Doylestown for the first pitch of Phillies baseball in 2023. Great food and drink and a great place to watch college hoops the next couple weeks is their new location. Tournament opens today. Tournament opens up.
Yep.
Your excitement level is?
Not as high as it's been in years past, but I still love it. It was one of the first thoughts when I woke up this morning. Yeah. Love this Thursday.
Have a little fun.
Yeah.
Be able to get out. I know that Cousin Tunis will be out at Parks Casino.
Yeah.
They'll be hanging out there, which will be great.
It's a shame they had a bad day to send them off yesterday in Clearwater. It was it was 49 degrees when they came on air.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. My heart bleeds for both of them.
Yeah.
It really does. Not my foot, my heart at that point. So,
yeah.
Sixers and the Cavs last night. So, the Sixers again, what's that, 6 in a row now. And Joel Embiid was again sort of unstoppable at times for stretches of that game. It was pretty much ridiculous. 18 boards? Where's that come from?
Wanting to do it.
Because he hasn't been doing that lately. I mean, numbers.
His rebounds had fallen down a little bit. And it's funny, Vince Pellegrini and I were going back and forth on it about, he was getting worried about his rebounding, that he was getting 6, 7, 8 a game. And, he should have more there. If you really watch it, something's been said and taken in by the team. They're really, really concentrating on their defense now. And I said it to you before, Maxey was really going nuts covering perimeter offensive players, and I was wondering if it was hindering his shooting on the other end because he was only taking limited shots. Embiid last night almost fouled out, and maybe should have, because of his aggression on defense. Now, some of it was stupid. He was getting beat on pump fakes. I think 3 times he got beat on pump fakes, and he went up in the air, and the guy leaned into him. Good play. But it's the aggressiveness that he's showing in blocking shots. I forget who was the game. Remember the game they played, John, last week, and you and I talked about it, and I said, look how Embiid just went straight up and down.
Straight up.
It looks like somebody talked to him about it, and that's great defense. Now, all of a sudden, he's blocking shots, and I've said this forever. I don't know why Embiid feels the need to jump with a guy when a guy jumps to block his shot. Great shot blockers, when they're that big, they wait for the guy to jump.
It was the Minnesota game last week.
Okay.
We talked about it after.
And he was going straight up.
And he was going straight up. And it disrupted the hell out of them.
It did, because that's all you have to do is disrupt on defense. If they make a great shot over you, fine. There's nothing you can do about that. Don't come down. Don't put them in a better position. But the shot blocking part of it, Joel Embiid is getting really good at waiting for the guy to commit to go up. So the guy will leave his feet to shoot the ball. Then Joel Embiid jumps and goes and blocks the shot. You don't have to jump the same time as an offensive player to block his shot.
No.
You can wait till after he goes up, and that's what really good shot blockers do. I just see a total concentration by this team right now to play defense, and they're doing it well.
Yeah, they really are. And if you look at it right now, the numbers don't look that amazing in the points per game. 110's not fantastic. But what if I told you better than the Bucks by 2 points a game, better than the Celtics by 2.2 points per game? I mean, better than the Knicks by 2.8 points per game. I mean,
their defense
has really risen.
Yeah.
And right now, you're staring down. You've secured the 4 seed secured. I mean, the 3 seed is secured. Cleveland's not going to catch you now. You're 4 games up. You hold the tiebreaker, so you're really 5 games up. So Cleveland is literally looking at 14 games to play. They'd have to make up 5 games in the standings on the Sixers. That ain't happening. So you're secure in the 3 seed. You're trying to make your charge. Boston wins last night. They survive at Minnesota. So right now you still remain 1 game behind the Celtics, even in the loss column. But right now you're staring down a Brooklyn Nets team or a Knicks team in that first-round matchup. And Brooklyn's been playing better. Devon's Cousins a pain in the backside for opposing teams.
Yeah, he's really good.
I mean, he is showing himself something awful. Mikal Bridges is now – he actually now looks like he can elevate others. And I always wondered if he was just a really nice piece on a talented club. He looks like he's elevating the entire production up there in Brooklyn.
He appears to be the man there, and
which is great for him in a way.
Sure, you're exactly right though. He was brought into this league to be a piece,
right?
And now all of a sudden it looks like he may be the piece, not a piece, the piece.
I read a piece from the New York Post where they talked about the energy around the Nets. The entire team, the entire organization seems to have changed since his arrival. Now, one young man does that? Like one young man changes the malaise? Or as I look at it more, is it Kevin Durant going out? And his burner accounts and his thin skin and Ben Simmons literally being relegated to not being paid attention to.
Yeah, you went from Kyrie Irving, who we all know about,
right? Nutcases.
Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons. So that's all right. Let's build a dream team. It falls apart. You get rid of it. And then here comes this bright, young light of smart basketball, good basketball, and probably better than you even thought. So, yeah, Brooklyn is unbelievably happy to have Mikal Bridges.
Tomorrow we'll be at the Irish Horn It's 882 2nd Street Pike in Richboro, Pennsylvania, presented by Bud Light. You get $3 Bud Lights, $4 Bud Light seltzers, the traditional Irish breakfast starting at 6 a.m., and the first 100 Fanatic listeners there get a free T-shirt. So join us for the morning and stick around for NCAA tournament action. It's all sponsored by Bud Light. And, Pat, you said you may bring your dancing shoes. You may.
Possibly.
You could possibly do that.
Guess you'll have to find out.
Yeah. Hey, I'm planning on being there, Pat. So we're going to have a good time.
That makes one of us.
At the Irish Horn tomorrow morning, which is looking forward to that. And if you are heading out, we look forward to seeing you there. Come on out tomorrow morning and hang out. And looks like the winter weather is beyond us. The cold winter breeze is beyond us. And now we're going to start to warm up a bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be nice.
60, almost 60 degrees today and sunny.
That sounds fine with me.
Can't
fine
wait
with
to
me.
be sitting outside.
In Cooney's Corner, Bob has a few more questions about your Philadelphia Eagles.
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's Corner.
So it's funny, preparing this last night, I did it on the basis that Slay was gone.
Exactly. We have no idea.
And Pat said he found out last night before he went to bed. I guess I went to bed a little earlier than Pat. I didn't find out about Slay until this morning.
As soon as Sixers was over, I was done.
Yeah, and it's weird. So I find myself, I wrote last night before I knew he was back that, okay, I'm all right with Slay being gone. I mean, I have it right here, down here. I'm okay because I thought that no matter what happens, they're going to be okay, whatever it may be. Like, how does Howie do this stuff?
Well, now we're saying that the answer might be in the way he worded other people's contracts.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And I'm being reactionary on this. I was part of the group that didn't like Howie a couple years ago, the way he was doing business. I think the way he's doing business now is pretty amazing.
Some good analysis on your part.
Whether bringing back the defense from last year as much as they are is a good thing or not, well, that's thought for another day. You have to realize that a few days ago, we were all nervous that they were going to lose all these
completely.
people. I mean, think about it. If you didn't have Bradbury and Slay, where are you getting the other guy? And part of me was, well, Howie got Bradbury at the last second last year, so he'll do it again this year. You still have the draft. Are you okay plugging in maybe a corner out of the draft to be a starter? I don't know. It's a sense of security, though. You have Slay and Bradbury back. Like them or not, Slay's numbers in the second half of last season weren't good.
No.
Like them or not, it's stability. And when you're a Super Bowl contending team, as they were last year, and you're bringing back your whole offense, stability is what you're looking for on defense. And Howie has secured that. Now, if he can make this C.J. Gardner-Johnson stuff happen, and he can keep him here, all I can say is kind of wow.
If he can do that, Pat, we may need Bud Light to make a statue out in they could put a statue out in the foyer there. Is that a foyer?
Are you talking about near Xfinity Live?
Yeah, or just have a statue of Howie.
Yeah, they probably need to.
If he pulls this off,
his ability to maneuver the cap is why Jamie has constantly said the cap is fake. For moments just like this.
Why is it fake? Why is it fake for us though, Pat, and not for other teams?
Because he's better at it.
Yeah, because he's just better at it.
I don't know why people wouldn't study.
He's better at foreseeing how the market will play out and positioning himself to be able to make moves like these.
Okay, so in other words,
his ability to just see 3-4 years down the road, and he does it with the draft. He perfectly maneuvered the draft. And was able to foresee what was going to happen there to set himself up to grab picks and take advantage of teams.
Here's what I say, though, Bob, because it sort of plays differently where Howie worries very much like you were saying, me and your wife. We worry every single thing about the future because when you're doing finances, you have to worry about the future.
Good.
It looks like he is obsessed with it.
Good. Because I don't give a crap
with
about it. Yeah, just show me the players that are on the field. That's all I care about, John. I really don't care about who is getting what money. I don't care.
It's certainly paying off.
Yeah, I don't. And I can sleep at night, and I'm good with it. And I'm not going to sit here and worry about what kind of money Jalen Hurts is going to get or how it affects anybody else's contract. I don't care. Show me the guys that are getting on the field on Sunday afternoon, and I'm happy. And right now, I'm happy with the guys that they're going to put on the field on Sunday afternoon. And right now, I know that they still have the 10th overall pick and the 30th overall pick and a slew of picks next year. Like, I'm pretty happy. I'm okay.
Oh, no, they definitely do. They have a lot coming their way. This definitely would tend to believe that they've changed their plan for the draft, right? Everybody's assumed plan. Because I said it to you last week. I taped it. I watched it, then I watched it in earnest this past weekend. I am not drafting one of those corners at 10. I'm just not.
It's not going to happen.
And corner is not a position you tend to draft too early.
Yeah, I think this plays perfectly into Howie's hands because he's the one that played it. They're going to shore up again the defensive line. They're going to do that. Probably sprinkle in offensive linemen also. Like that's where his bread and butter is, right? He loves drafting interior, linemen. I think that's where he'll go. They'll probably do something that will make us raise our eyebrows on the offensive side of the ball. Whether it's a signing, whether it's a draft pick, something. But I don't think he's just going to let the offense stay. I think he's going to go after some kind of a skill player somewhere.
That'd be nice. I would love a veteran, Pat, and I don't know who it is, a receiver to take Quez's spot. That would be right now, that would be something on Howie's shopping list that if he's finding somebody like in May or June.
But is the money going to be worth it? Is it going to be a situation of
the juice worth the squeeze?
Kind of, yeah. It'd only be a 1-year deal, and that's fine. And I think you can absolutely upgrade over Quez. But if it's a situation now where you are needing to save a little bit of money to sign a C.J. Gardner-Johnson, then I'm not really focused on the third wide receiver now. I'm not focused on it right now.
Today, right.
But yeah, but come May, if they have a little left over and you can move on from Quez and trade him for something and get a vet in here to kind of approve a deal, then yeah, absolutely.
By the way, I was checking on one of these those sites that talks about salaries and everything like that. Quez's trade value would be projected at a 6.
Yeah,
Do you take him at a 6?
No, I don't. Look, he had a down year last year. There's no question about it.
Some major bummer plays.
Yeah.
That cost his team.
I'm okay if they don't move on. Like, maybe he has a bounce back year. Maybe he's more of what he was 2 years ago than what he was last year, and that's okay. You don't need a whole lot from Quez Watkins, but when you do need him, he does have to be there better than he was last year. You're talking about an unbelievably speedy receiver in your slot position. When used correctly, can be a huge asset. He had a down year last year. I don't know if I'm ready just to move on that quickly. I don't mind if he stays around, but he does have to improve.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I look at the Washington game as the one that if Quez doesn't stupidly get up and leave the ball exposed,
well, I don't mind
they
that.
win that game. They win that game.
Look, he was making a play. If he'd have just laid there and waited for somebody to come and tag him, now we're saying it's the better play.
Well, protect the ball is what I'm saying.
He was getting up, and it's funny. Like if you were to lay on the ground, have a ball in your hand, and you go to get up, it's hard to keep it tucked, you know. So I understand that play. There was a couple drops that he had that weren't good. He has to improve, and if he improves, I'm okay with him. Yeah, I'm okay if he gets back to the form that he had 2 seasons ago.
Remember, your chance to win knockout tickets comes your way in the 7 o'clock hour. But lots more. If you would like to give your thoughts on what has transpired in a wild 24 hours for the Philadelphia Eagles, you may at 610-632-0975. Would love to hear your opinions. You've heard Pat and Bob and I talk about it. Love to hear some of your thoughts on it, too, if you want to jump in. It's going to be a really, really interesting day today to find out what the next level of fallout is. John Kincade Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. cupcakes and
today's his
cookies.
birthday?
I think it's today, isn't it? I think today is the day.
It's 29.
It's 29 today.
He ain't no youngster no more.
Joel Embiid. He had some big. Pat, I was thinking of you. I was thinking of Pat, but it's Connor in there.
Pat's out right now. Can I take a message?
Well, it might have been Pat eating the. He looked like he had some giant cupcakes delivered to the plane to celebrate his birthday. Like these are like the mega cupcakes, and
He's a big man.
Well, believe me, it looked like there were some good ones.
Yeah, Pat's not the only one who can appreciate a good cupcake. I like cupcakes.
You like cupcakes?
Yeah, they're all right. I like the top part of the cupcake. The bottom part, no need for it.
What do you like, Rebecca De Mornay on the Seinfeld show?
Yeah,
saying you only want the tops. You only want the tops. Do you not think the homeless? You remember the homeless episode, Bob?
Yes.
You don't think the homeless people don't like the muffin tops? Come on. Hey, the BetParx Casino and Sportsbook app has your odds, slots, bets, and games all coming together in perfect harmony right in your pocket. Download it now at betparx.com. Today, Anthony and Chunas will be out there for NCAA tournament action, and I will be out there too this afternoon from 12 to 2. Look forward to meeting you out there.
Are you going to see them?
Going out to see them and do an appearance today. So come on by, say hello, and we'll have a good time out there at the BetParx Sportsbook.
Ed Wright has a good question here. Aren't mega cupcakes just cakes?
No, because they are in the cupcake form. So they have first of all, they have the paper wrapper, and they're in the container that has the holes that keep them separately, so you can keep the cupcakes in. But they look like big cupcakes.
I would call it a cake.
No.
Yeah.
You wouldn't call cupcake.
I'm with Ed.
Yeah, it's got cake in the name.
Cake isn't wrapped in paper.
If I can't cup it, it's not a cake.
Yeah, but you can.
Sure?
That's why you have the.
Maybe
I know Joel Embiid.
His hands are enormous.
These look good. Pat, you have to check out the picture. I think Sam from England tweeted out when Joel got to the plane last night. They had cupcakes waiting for him.
That's nice.
For his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Joel.
Gigantic, Pat. These things look like 50% more than like a regular cupcake.
Well, he's a big guy.
They look awesome.
So to him,
this is how big his hands are. And I'll show the YouTube people out there.
Okay, those hands are ridiculous.
When Joel Embiid and Jahlil Okafor were on the team together, I pulled them both aside. I said, guys, do me a favor here, because Okafor had huge hands. I said, grip the basketball with both hands and let me get a picture of it so I can show people around how big your hands are. So I still have in my phone the picture that I took. There's not an inch of the basketball that isn't covered when the two of them put their hands on a bat. Like Joel Embiid, there's barely anything you can see. And it amazes me, the guy shoots free throws so well. It's like us shooting free throws with like a kickball or a softball.
Because
it's
he's just got that control.
Yeah, it is amazing his control and his touch around the basket.
By the way, you want to get in on any of the Eagles conversation this morning, we're here for you at 610-632-0975. So yesterday, Pat, when you were preparing for the show, you thought the first salary cap hit happened. And now we find out the Eagles never released Darius Slay. So what's Pat thinking now?
This is Pat's point of view. Here's Pat.
I don't know, man. I'm a jackass. Like, we fill out for people to take you behind the scenes. We all fill out our topics of what we're going to talk about the next day. Some of us do it a little earlier than others. Didn't really matter in this case. I don't know what time the news broke because I saw it at like 1 in the morning. But you try to figure out what's going to happen the next day and could be topical. And I'd say 98% of the time, what we write down the day before is still topical when we come in.
So read exactly what your topic was.
Okay.
Let's not fool that, because it's a great topic.
It is a great topic.
All right. So my topic that I wrote down in the email was Eagles suffer their first cap hit casualty that I can remember in the Howie Roseman era. Is his cap wizardry overblown? And the answer is no. Okay, Pat's point of view is done.
Well, then it was pretty.
Next topic.
Chrissy,
let's get back to big giant cupcakes.
I think you're being too hard on yourself, because Darius Slay and his wife was crying yesterday at 11:15 on Instagram. He was saying, "Deuces, Philly, bye-bye, miss you, love you, all love." So I mean, you weren't stupid.
Well, okay, let's not go that far.
This time.
I found out yesterday. So I had a meeting with our boss. Good meeting. It wasn't a bad meeting, I think. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess, after this segment. But
Okay.
I walked out of the meeting, and D-Train, Dylan McKinnon, the guy just breaking news all over the place, goes, oh, hey, I'm getting the Darius Slay stuff up. And I go, what are you talking about? And my first thought was, oh, they extended him. They found out a contract. He goes, oh, no, he's getting released. And I was shocked because I don't remember Howie Roseman, as I put in my thing, ever having a, quote, casualty kind of cut.
No.
Where it's a really good player that you have to get rid of because he didn't foresee this situation happening. And what it seems like did happen, and I forgot about this, but I think Zach Berman brought it up, our buddy from The Athletic. I think he tweeted it out that the Eagles kind of did this last year where they threatened to cut Fletcher Cox, and then they didn't make it official, and they reworked it. So it seems like what they do, and it's pretty cutthroat of how he is, he's able to figure out what players really, really want to be here. And then if they don't want to play ball, he just goes, all right, we'll cut you. And then when they're like, well, actually, no, we'll take that deal. It sure seems like
it's a little gangster.
It is. But it seems to have worked because Darius Slay really wanted to be here. And Fletcher Cox's deal yesterday, as Adam Schefter reported, he turned down bigger money elsewhere because he wanted to stay, which is something I don't think any of us thought. So it is a pretty cutthroat move. It worked. But I just don't ever remember. And my question of, is this cap wizardry overblown? No, because his ability to maneuver things and handle this sort of situation. The weirdest part, too, is he's well-liked.
He is well-liked.
He's not just well-liked by NFL circles, and I'm talking like GMs and owners stuff. Like, the players like him. Like, he's going on Jason Kelsey's podcast, and yeah, you got Miles Sanders begging him to be re-signed, which he signed a big deal in Carolina. Like, he does this kind of stuff, and there's no animosity. And I bring that up because with Sam Hinkie, it was one of his biggest hindrances. There was a lot of animosity with how he did business. Howie Roseman does this stuff, and there just seems to be no animosity. It's thank you, sir. Can I have another?
He seems to be able to keep relationships. I think part of it, though, Pat, is what you pointed to. Guys want to be here. And if they want to be here, maybe it's as much about swallowing their pride as it is they just want to be such a part of the teammates that they've been close to and everything. They're willing to put up with this crap and sign a deal. I'm not going to make that much money elsewhere, and I know that we're this close to winning a championship.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
I think Pat makes a great point of how Howie reads the room.
I agree.
And maybe reads a player. And, we look at Howie and we see this. Oh, look at this wimpy little guy. He's a numbers guy, whatever. It appears that he can read people pretty well. And
I'm not going to poker night at Howie Roseman's house. I can tell you this after yesterday.
No. And if he brings C.J. Gardner-Johnson back,
that would be ridiculous.
What's incredible too is I'm at this point expecting it.
I think I agree with you.
24 hours ago, I was at 30%.
So you are expecting it,
and somehow them reworking. It's crazy. It makes no sense because they re-signed a guy at $10 million.
Right.
And then they're bringing back Darius Slay to whatever they are, but it's going to be something. But whatever they bring him back at is going to help the cap situation for this year.
Well,
because they're rework a contract. So I'm assuming now that they're doing it to bring back C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Well, if Jeffrey Lurie wrote the $25 million in checks that we talked about earlier from Joel Corey at CBS, if he wrote the $15 million check to A.J. Brown yesterday, wrote a $10 million check to $15 million to Hassan Reddick, $10 million to A.J. Brown, then that freed up $25 million. 10 could have gone to Fletcher Cox. Some money could have gone to... But where's the money for C.J. Gardner-Johnson? That's what it is.
Whatever the deal is for Darius Slay, it's not going to be at a $26 million cap hit.
No. It won't be.
I think
so that'll change, too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome, man. It's an awesome
cool.
story.
Today is cool.
Hey, you may, if you haven't checked out the all-new BetParx app, do it today. A $10 first wager, if it wins, gets you $125 in sportsbook bonus. So what I would suggest is pick any one seed. Take Alabama. Take Houston. Take the one seed. Win that bet for a $10 bet. And then you're going to get $125 in free bets that you can use for whatever you want.
I'm gonna do a parlay of all the number 1 seeds and all the number 2 seeds just to see what the odds are on that.
Oh, by the way, I meant to, Pat, I had that for you. Remember Christmas? The last 6 weeks, remember I was doing that? That I was picking the biggest. I was doing the biggest favorites. By the way, I have the number
I do remember.
I
that.
made.
You did the.
I bet
5, right?
5 biggest favorites every single week.
You did the money line, right?
All I did was money line. My average weekly payout was $7.01. That was my average. My highest weekly payout was like $9. And for the last 6 weeks of the season doing it, I walked away with a fantastic $29.07. $29. So slow and steady wins the race.
That's an.
I guess
that's a meal at
now,
some
the
of
thing
Pat's
is,
famous or most favorite restaurants.
But if I had just put 1-0 over and bet more, I was betting $5 a game. If I had made it $50 a game, that same betting would have won me $290. So just a little idea about how you can still make some money out there with these setups. By the way, tomorrow's St. Patty's Day, and all weekend long at your local PJ's, it's St. Patty's Day all weekend long at PJ's. They're doing it all weekend. Traditional Irish foods, St. Patty's themed cocktails all weekend long. PJ's is the place to be for all the shenanigans.
I think I'm doing PJ's for lunch today.
See?
I did it last night.
Did you? What, Oaks?
Yeah, I went to Oaks after had an early puck drop. Had an
they did.
8 o'clock puck drop.
You did?
Yeah.
That's the earliest I've ever heard. How'd you make out?
We won. It was a playoff game.
Nice.
Our goalie got injured.
Oh no! So you had to go in?
And I got word on this, by the way, Pat, because I got word on this story. My spies told me. Egan, due to a goalie injury, stepped into the net last night and played with no pads.
I did horrible, though.
You kept the game close.
No, I didn't. I gave up 2 goals on 2 shots, and then we found a goal.
You kept the game close.
That's not keeping the game close. When you give up 2 goals on 2 shots, that's a 0 save percentage.
Yeah, but you're a carry-out goaltender. So, if the puck was dumped, you were carrying it out.
The second one I should have gotten.
You won in overtime.
We did win in overtime. Geez, you really do have spies.
And Brad tells me that it took another goalie could borrow pads. Had to borrow pads and step in.
Yeah, so our goalie got tweaked. I think he tore his ACL or something. So
that bad, really?
Yeah. Luckily, we had a guy on the team who could play. He has played goalie, and then he went off the ice, put on the goalie's equipment, and then I stayed in for 5 minutes or whatever and gave up the lead.
Well, there you go.
Well, you didn't have pads on.
Pat,
dude.
see, I was waiting to spring that on you, and then it got led to there that my spies told me you were amazing.
Well, but not really. Played horrible, but it went to PJ's afterwards, and that
made the night.
That made me feel like a winner.
What was the post meal at PJ's for Pat Egan last night?
So I went with, and I do the 5 honey barbecue, 5 hot honey. I tell them to put it in the same container. So the flavors
that way
kind of
they all
together.
mix it? Yeah.
Yep. And then did the Brussels sprouts to go.
You love those Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
So do I.
Big fan. Because when I get home, I have a balsamic glaze that I put on it.
Oh, my gosh.
And then I shake it up so all the Brussels sprouts have a little balsamic, and then I put it in the air fryer. And
don't they have a glaze on them already or not?
No. The dip that they come with, which I never use, like a buffalo.
Okay.
I can't take that heat, Johnny.
Yeah, you're not a big heat
I'm a
person.
bitch, so I can't take that heat. but yeah, it made me feel like a winner, and the staff was great as always.
I think that's awesome.
Conversation with the guy who I didn't get his name, but the guy gave me his food. He was great.
I do have spies though. Every
yeah, that's weird, man.
I think it's impressive.
I have all the
very
details.
impressive.
Always got eyes on you, Egan.
You got hose in different area codes.
It's like, do you think Howie Roseman doesn't know what's going on with his roster?
You're like Adam Silver with Ja Morant.
I know what's going on. And by the way, that's a good story there. Okay, so right now we're wondering if you had gut instinct this morning. And by the way, you can jump in at 610-632-0975 if you wish. You both have said, I don't want to misquote you, so I'll put it. Is C.J. Gardner-Johnson coming back? Gut instinct 7:07 this morning.
I'm going to stick to my guns and say yeah.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, if that is to happen, this is freaking incredible. Like, it's incredible the mastery that was done. And also, too, I'm going to say, why didn't we have any idea? And the money is going to come from this. It's going to come from this found money. It's going to come from the money that he is, because of the orchestrated contracts that he's done with A.J. Brown and he's done with Hassan Reddick last offseason. 2 contracts that he wrote last year set us up for success this year, which is really sort of incredible. Like, this is all just incredible to me to think of, because I have word searched. I have not read about these bonus payments anywhere, like local media. I'm not reading about any of them.
As someone that used to cover a beat, it's hard to dive into somebody's contract and get all the nuances of it. It's almost impossible. Nobody's handing it to you and saying, "Here, go through it with a fine,
Right.
You just can't. And
this is pretty major, though. I mean, this is a pretty major.
Well, think about it. How would a beat get it? Howie ain't giving it up. Why would he? Why would he give up a secret of how to do something? As you said earlier, John, you haven't seen it throughout the league before.
No, I've not.
So why would Howie let beat writers know? Why would agents, players let beat writers know that, hey, he did a really cool thing that nobody else has done before? It's just not happening.
And by the way, I am a geek with this stuff, so I love to study this stuff, and I don't know how, but Joe Corey got it. Like, he knew it. So I don't know if that's just his, the way he dives into it and it's just his job. This is pretty incredible. This really looks wild to me right now. What I'm now fascinated about is when does the Jalen Hurts extension come down? And is this all like all this game of dominoes? How does it play? If he gets C.J. Gardner-Johnson and then we get the announcement of a Jalen Hurts contract, this is as crazy as it comes. And by the way, you did say it, though. You didn't really dig $10 million with Fletcher Cox.
I didn't love it. If it doesn't affect anything else, okay. You had to bring back one of the fatties on the defensive line. You just had to, because it's a numbers game more than anything else.
Absolutely.
And if you look at him and say it's among him and Sue and Joseph, I don't know if Sue and Joseph have a full year in them anymore.
No, you don't. You have no idea about that, right?
Fletcher Cox did play a full season last year, and if you're going to grade out how among the 3 of them who played the best, it's Fletcher Cox. So they brought back the best. They needed a body. They brought back the best one they had. Whether the money comes into play or not, we'll see.
Well, the idea of, okay, would you have rather, you could have had, for $10 million, you could have had both linebackers. Both linebackers. You could have had both of them back.
No, I'm okay with that. I am.
But the thing is that we weren't displeased last year. Pat, you said it yesterday in the show. Probably the best linebacker play we've seen in forever? Like around here?
In a long time.
In a long time.
Trotter.
And
maybe D'Amico Ryans was playing middle linebacker. He was pretty good for the
Look how far back you're going.
Yeah,
I mean, it's amazing.
Decade
so you could have had both starting linebackers back. Instead, you had Fletcher Cox back.
Maybe.
No, it's not. No, I mean, math-wise, it's there.
Well, but I mean, Zach Berman told us when he joined us for the open house last week, they don't prioritize linebackers.
They don't.
But they prioritize the lines. Because he brought up the draft. He goes, I'm positive they'll draft defensive line or offensive line high.
Yeah, look, you can plug in Nakobe Dean, and he's going to get you the 150 tackles that one of those 2 guys did.
Oh, I would absolutely think he's going to, but I just
had to go all the way back to Jeremiah Trotter when you're talking about linebackers. Yeah, because that was not only was it the last really good linebacker they had, it was the last name linebacker they had. What did they draft him? 2nd round? Out of Stephen F. Austin, 3rd round?
3rd round, yeah.
Listen to you with the Stephen F. Austin knowledge.
That's the most that they've put into the linebacker position in an awfully long time. So their feeling is they can plug and play. And look, the guys that they got last year, you got Kaiser White on a 1-year deal. That wasn't all that bad. And T.J. Edwards, a 6th-round pick. I know I keep harping on it, but that was a plug-and-play guy. It wasn't like, oh, man, we got T.J. Edwards.
No. And if you talk about where I thought he was, I wasn't expecting T.J. Edwards to – I wasn't a big T.J. Edwards fan at all.
Yeah, he was
but I
solid
wasn't a Kaiser White fan at all. But to have 2 guys that you could have that for the amount of money it takes to have Fletcher Cox. But I guess, too, I said they needed to have somebody in there with the Jordan Davis, Milton Williams group. And they decided the $10 million. That also tells me, though, Bob, that they have their own questions about, is Jordan ready to step up and take on that challenge?
Yeah.
That's all I can read into it.
Well, you need.
That's what I read into it. But I read into it like they're to pay him $10 million. They're saying, okay, we think Jordan's ready, but we don't know if Jordan's ready.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like.
I think that's honest.
That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah,
and that doesn't please me.
Well, I wonder how much took into play like his Fletcher Cox's mentorship of Jordan Davis, because
that's truth.
From the get-go, he really wrapped his arm around this kid and wanted to take him around and show him the ropes and be a mentor and figure to him, which doesn't happen all the time in the NFL. So I wonder if the Eagles wanted to bring him back because of his play, but also part of it was, hey, he's really good with these younger kids, and in particular the guy that's going to end up replacing him. So let's have him here for another year because we just lost Javon Hargrave. Let's have him back, but he'll also make a bigger impact on the locker room.
Yeah, and very well.
A big impact, not a bigger, but a big impact.
It is, and that is a testament, Pat, and it's a good thing to do. It's a testament to what he's done, because he absolutely has been the mentor.
Yeah,
and that says something.
Yeah, I misspoke. I said Edwards was a 6th-round pick. It was Epps the 6th-round pick.
Epps is the 6th.
J. Edwards was undrafted.
Right.
So I think
that's even bigger.
Yeah, that's how they look at it, and that's how they have looked at it, going back to, like Pat said, almost Jeremiah Trotter.
I mean, yeah, they haven't drafted a first-round linebacker since the 70s. The last second-round linebacker they took was Michael Kendricks.
Man, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Like Matt McCoy.
Yeah.
We're talking second-rounders,
Not Matt Cord.
No,
Matt McCoy.
Matt McCoy from San Diego. I think he went to San Diego State.
Wow.
He sucked. Wasn't very good.
Hey, we got a lot coming up, and if you want to get on the lines, I see Tom's there and others. You want to get in, 610-632-0975. We'll get to you. Plus more on the Sixers' big win, and I've got 5 Eagles questions with Kincade coming up for the entire crew. John Kincade Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Look.
Back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Hey, Staples stores are a new world of possible. They've got innovative tools for small business, remote workers, and learners. You can explore more at your local Staples store or visit staplesconnect.com. Be sure to join us at the Irish Horn tomorrow morning. There will be people head first into the Bud Light easily. Like we will already be an hour and some in tomorrow morning.
I loved it last year when we went there, how people casually just came in, threw a 20 on the bar, ordered a beer, and it was 6 a.m. like it was 6 p.m. And just stayed there and hung out and drank beers all morning. It was awesome.
$3 Bud Lights, $4 Bud Light seltzers, a traditional Irish breakfast, and the first 100 Fanatic listeners get a free T-shirt. And you stick around for all the tournament action tomorrow afterwards. 882 2nd Street Pike in Richboro, Pennsylvania, the Irish Horn. We will be there tomorrow morning. I want to get to Tom first. Tom, good morning. Thanks for holding on.
Yo, John, great show. How's everybody doing?
Thank you, buddy.
What's up, Tom?
Not much, man. I'm impressed with the job that Howie Roseman has done. I think that Gardner Johnson is possibly going to come back too, because I think that both him and Slay found out that the market wasn't exactly what they thought it would be. The only thing I would have done different is, I know it's only 1 year paying Cox $10 million, but I know how they are about the linebacker position. But T.J. Edwards, 26 years old, he could hit, man, and he could tackle. That's the only thing I would have probably done a little different. And with Hurts, they didn't sign Wentz to the second big deal till June, so he's probably going to wait him out on that.
Yeah, and that's probably what'll happen. Thank you, Tommy. That's probably what'll happen.
Yeah,
is that they take care of business there. That's exciting, though. It's all exciting, but I'm on pins and needles, though, because I did, and it's no knock on Slay, because I love Slay. But to me, if you told me, and we talked about it, could you have two of the three back? Possibly. By the way, last week we were talking about, could you have one of the three back?
Yeah.
If you could have two of the three back, I wanted the safety and the corner. And so I didn't know if it would be Slay or Bradbury. And I really thought Bradbury was the one that was most gone. I did
too. I just wrote him off. I thought, okay, keep Slay and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and you fill that other corner slot with whether it's the number 10 pick or an early pick or whatever it may be, or signing somebody late, much like they did before. Yeah, I didn't know, but your corners are sewed in there. I think we're all okay with it.
They are. They're definitely sewed in. I mean, they're right there in the mix. So.
Now, if you get word again today, and you said it yesterday, John, the longer this C.J. Gardner-Johnson thing goes on, the more it looks like he's coming back here.
Well, you heard Adam Schefter say it to us yesterday, that their free agency begins in the afternoon, but it really ends in the afternoon.
Yeah. He said, if you're not signed done, by 4 o'clock on a Wednesday,
you weren't one of the prime prizes out there. And I don't know why he wasn't. Only thing I can figure is that his price was too high.
Well, come on, man.
Yeah, I can tell you that. By the way, I want to give a shout out here. And Doc sent me an email.
What's up, Doc?
My brother functioning on an email is always good, too. He wanted to make sure Doc works over at Swarthmore College. And they're playing in the Division III, so Connor should be excited about this. The Division III Final Four. And that game is in Fort Wayne, Indiana today. Final Four of Division III versus Christian Newport University in Newport News, Virginia. So I think Connor may have even hated those teams.
Allen Iverson
and Mike Vick.
Right, there you go. They were in the championship game in 2019, but Doc wanted to make sure, because I understand that the athletic director, Max Miller, listens to the show. So Max listens. Coach Larry Kosmalski is killing it, 10th year at Swarthmore. Somebody's going to come and grab him. This guy's doing this well. But congratulations to Swarthmore, bring home a championship. So get after it today.
Good luck.
And Doc wanted to wish you all good luck. So make sure we got that out there for you. Have you entered the bracket contest yet?
I have to do it before I get out of here today.
Okay, because to get it in.
Yeah.
With Statman Arc is kind enough to run a bracket challenge for us. and get in there. Pat, are you in yet?
Same thing as Bob. I got to do it before I leave. I always fill out a bracket. I won it a couple of years ago.
Is Connor in?
Yeah, he'll be in.
Is Connor in the bracket? I haven't seen it.
Did you fill out yours
I
yet?
did mine.
Okay.
Mine's in.
What do you got winning it all?
I'm not going to tell you.
What kind of question is that?
What is that? I can't tell you.
Be silly.
Because then that gives you an advantage. Not that you want to pick who I pick.
Screw both. I'm going to beat you guys anyway.
Pat, I do not.
Because I know the least about basketball.
Pat, I have. It never fails. I'm usually never winning after round one. Then I end up climbing in the standings, and then I crap out. Like in the beginning, it looks like I'm out. Like I'm not in the mix. Then I start to pick up, and then I start to dream about winning the money, and then I lose. It is a foregone conclusion.
For me, usually it's second round. No, day two. Day two of round one.
That's where you get it?
So day one of round one, I am great. And then day two, it all falls apart. But in reality, it comes down to you need your champion to survive and win the whole thing.
Yeah, you have to have more than 25 wins in the first round. That's my key.
Yeah, you got to be really going.
If you can go 27-5, something like that, you're good to go. And then maybe you have some interesting things. But if you get under, I'll even say under 26 wins, you're
probably in a little
battle.
You could be in trouble. Unless you have as long as your Final Four stays alive. The longer they're alive, it keeps you going.
That always helps.
Connor says they're in his conference, so screw them. So, I mean, I guess Swarthmore's in his college? Is in Connor's conference?
I guess.
That's surprising. It's geographically.
That's
a little difficult.
Swarthmore College.
That is. Don't be picking on Swarthmore, Connor.
Man.
Hey, in Cooney's Corner, he's looking for something from the Sixers who've won 6 in a row.
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's Corner.
Yeah, I really went into watching last night's game a little bit differently. And it's kind of some of the things that I said to you guys. It seemed like whether it was Doc Rivers, a team meeting, Joel Embiid, whoever, somebody said, I think, a couple of games ago, hey, we need to turn up the heat defensively a little bit. We need to play better in the defensive end.
Yeah.
And if you watched them, the way they were rotating last night, which was horrible for so long amount of time, their rotations were terrible, and you saw wide open three after wide open three, they've really done better at it. And Tyrese Maxey appears to really be putting in effort defensively. And Joel Embiid last night had 5 fouls, probably should have gotten the 6 on the offensive call, which they changed. His fouls came because of effort defensively, and I didn't mind it. Now, I don't want him in foul trouble, obviously, but 4 of his fouls were at the defensive end of the floor where he's trying to be aggressive. I'm okay with that. So I think to watch this team, if you're like really keeping an eye on them, don't just watch the scoring and how great Harden and Embiid have been. Check out the defense. It's really become an eye-opener to me. Someone who watches the game a lot different than a lot of people, and I'm not saying that in a good way.
But you do.
Keep an eye on the defense, because to me, over the last handful of games, it's kind of really changed.
Well, the one thing is you said the effort with Maxey. I've always thought, like I said to you, like the effort is it was energy that was not being properly used.
Yes.
Or is that a good way to say it?
Yeah, you can run out after a 3-point shooter and run and dive at him and get pump faked or just run past him. People say, wow, look how hard he ran out after that guy. Okay, 2 things. 1, he shouldn't have been in the lane as far as he was helping and now have to run after that guy. And 2, running out after a 3-point shooter without control is ridiculous.
And I heard Krzyzewski and Boeheim once in an interview at one of the, like a panel discussion, are rebounds part of defense? Offensive rebounds part of defense and defensive rebounds.
Absolutely.
I think defensive rebounds are huge.
Do you remember I said that
Do you consider offensive rebounds part of defense?
Giving up offensive rebounds is part of defense, absolutely.
Okay, so giving up is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Because I saw Boeheim and Krzyzewski go at it once about that a little bit.
Do you remember a couple weeks ago I said to you what it's all going to come down to is rebounding with the Sixers? Remember I said on the show, I said, it's all going to come down to rebounding because they're not very good at it, and giving teams second and third chances in the playoffs just isn't going to cut it. Their defensive their rebounding altogether over the last 3 or 4 games has been phenomenal. And Joel Embiid had a lot to do with it last night. There were rebounds. Joel Embiid will get a lot of rebounds. He doesn't go after a lot of rebounds. Last night, he went after rebounds.
And I don't understand how when you're 7'2", you don't get more rebounds than he gets.
Well,
I really don't.
For me, with him, it has always been it's a conserve energy type of thing. If there's a rebound there, well, somebody else can get that. And sometimes he's right. Somebody else can go get a ball that he doesn't have to spend extra energy getting. But last night, he was taking away rebounds not only from Cleveland, but from his own teammates. He was just going and saying, no, it's mine. I got it. Now, people say, oh, he's just padding his stats. I don't care. You have to get the basketball. When the other team misses a shot, you got to go get the basketball. And he was doing it better than anybody last night.
He was. On his birthday today, too. Congratulations, Joel Embiid, on your birthday. Happy birthday, Joel.
For being born.
He only had 36.
Yeah, he's right. 36 was sort of an off night,
18
right?
and 4 blocks.
Like, I need at least 38.
Yeah, I don't think you're being unreasonable there, Pat.
I need more effort on the offensive side.
I mean, a little bit more would be great if he could offer us that. Happy birthday, Joel Embiid. We appreciate it. All right, Pat, I think I know what time it is. I think I do on my Apple Watch.
Yeah, it's 7:32.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good time.
You know what time it is?
Time to knock somebody out.
Let's do it.
It's time to get knocked out.
215-263-0975. 215-263-0975. You call right now, third caller. But you're going to have a minute because we're going to make sure that we wait a minute because Connor loves you. And he wants to make sure that everybody has a chance to win. You'll win tickets to see the Sixers play the Mavericks on March the 29th. You'll be there with us to play a game of knockout after the game on the floor at the Wells Fargo Center. It's all being brought to you by Ferguson HVAC, your Delaware Valley Train heating and air conditioning distributor. Visit Train.com to find a Train HVAC dealer near you.
All right, I said to you earlier about I still think the Eagles are going to make a little bit of a splash, especially on the offensive side of the ball somehow. A lot of people are talking about this, and I saw it on Twitter yesterday. Cowboys, I don't know if they've already done it or they're going to. No. They haven't already done it?
I'm just answering your question.
Well, wait, let me get it out first. If you need like a power back to get you some yards or somebody like that, you wouldn't take a shot on Zeke Elliott, huh, Pat?
No, I think he's
No.
Part of it is Cowboys stank. A larger part of it is I think he's cooked and I think he's a crappy human. So I'm
not a big fan.
I don't
either.
want him in the locker room.
Okay, good. I just threw it out there.
But
I think he's going to. I think he's going to make more than that, though. And by the way, people saying he's cooked. You got to look at those numbers from last year. If he's cooked, he's better than 2/3 of the running backs in the NFL. If he's cooked, and that means cooked, he's cooked from the level that he was at before. But he's better than probably 2/3 of the running backs.
All right, that's fair.
Let's get to 5 questions with Kincade.
It's time for 5 questions with John Kincade.
And Chevy, you can come around and get ready for question 2 while Connor gets our winner lined up. All right, first one is going to Coach Eric Camille. Coach Camille, 5 Eagles questions today with Kincade. Do you think Howie Roseman is somehow cheating or working the salary cap system in a way that no one else has really figured out how to do it? Is he doing something that sort of is legal but not legal? Do you believe everything he's doing is above board?
Well, let me ask you the question from that question. Just like people think that the referees in football conspire to, fix games.
Okay.
There are too many people involved in the process of what Howie's doing that if he were cheating, he would get called out on it. Correct?
And you know what I mean, cheating meaning that he's finding a way to work the system where he's he's doing it legally where it's not really illegal, but it's...
Look, if he wasn't doing that, then he probably wouldn't be doing his job. So, Howie, if you're doing that, keep doing it.
Like that. I hope he is doing it. I hope he is sort of doing something a little crooked. Like Succession. He get in there and just work it evilly like that. Good job, Coach. All right, question 2.
Question 2.
And we go to Heavy Chevy. Not wearing a hat today.
No, I got a haircut.
You did get the haircut.
Yeah, no hat today.
But you didn't go to...
Does it look good, Bob?
It does look... You look sharp.
Very nice.
Thank you.
You look sharp. When's your
the
first...
second best head of hair on the station?
Probably third. When's your first communion? Is that where you get the picture? It looks good. No, it looks good. It really does. All right, I'm going to ask you the question. If C.J. Gardner-Johnson is not back because you brought back Darius Slay, to you, was that worth it?
No. I think you still have to bring back C.J. Gardner-Johnson if you're bringing back Slay. To me, it seems like the band is getting back together. Just by the way this whole situation has flowed from the ups and downs of seeing, Slay's getting cut to now all of a sudden he's coming back.
And they didn't cut him, by the way. They never did cut him.
Exactly.
But he was told that he was getting cut.
Exactly. And that, to me, it just, like I said, it just seems like the band is getting back together. They're figuring out their situations of, how to restructure and make it work. But, I think C.J. Gardner-Johnson needs to come back if this is what they're going to do with Darius Slay.
So if they don't bring back C.J., it wasn't worth it in your mind to bring back Slay?
Yes. Yeah, I think you need to get him. You need to get him.
I think I'm with you, too.
Yeah. For a 32-year-old cornerback, you need to bring back that 25-year-old safety who's going to hold down that position for years.
Baby Doc? They were calling him Baby Doc?
I wouldn't give him that yet.
No, Doc was the one who was...
Oh, really?
Doc was the one loving on him.
Really?
Like Baby... Oh, yeah.
I didn't see that.
Doc gave him the kiss of... he was loving on this kid, so...
Okay.
Good job there. Nice haircut, too.
I'll take it.
Dude.
Thank you.
Question 3.
We go to Pat Egan.
Hello.
Pat, should this finally be the death of all the Howie slander? Can we finally put to bed mistakes of the past of Howie Roseman? If he gets this, somehow maneuvers the most dangerous salary cap situation this team's ever been in, should this finally be, okay, we're going to stop talking about mistakes he made 6 years ago in the draft?
Well, you said something right there that, initially I had the answer to it, and then you said something that makes me pause for a second.
Okay.
And that's the fact that the worst salary cap situation they've been in years, he set that up. So you're kind of giving credit, or you're at least taking blame away from the guy that lit it on fire.
That put the house on fire.
Did he put the house on fire knowing full well that he was going to get a hefty insurance claim and it was all calculated and planned? Or did he set the house on fire because he burnt chicken and decided to, throw water on it and there was a grease fire and it, went up in flames? There's a big difference between arson calculated for insurance fraud and then just you're an idiot who didn't know how to cook fish.
So what do you say?
I think it was calculated arson. I think he's getting an insurance policy. And in the NFL, you don't get arrested for that. You don't get arrested for insurance fraud. That only happens in the real world. To answer your question, though, I think. I mean, I've kind of just did a mea culpa. I was wrong on the guy, but he changed.
Yep. He has changed.
And to bring up the sins of 3-4 draft classes ago, and this is the big one, if he's able to bring back C.J. Gardner-Johnson, then it's like you can't deny what this guy's been able to do.
It's mastery. Is that what's the thing that Chunas is obsessed with? The wizardry stuff.
Harry Potter.
There you go. It would
Question 4.
Howie Roseman and the Pot of Doom or whatever it is.
Oh, jeez, don't just...
Whatever it is. Connor Thomas.
Hello.
Would you rather have Fletcher Cox or the 2 starting linebackers back?
Ooh, definitely the 2 starting linebackers. I don't even really have to think about that one.
I don't either, and it's one of the questions where Howie's done such a great job, but I think I'd rather have back the 2 linebackers.
It's a position they don't value, and the Fletcher Cox contract is also kind of like, if he wants to come back at a reasonable number, you're not going to tell him no. He's a franchise legend.
What does it tell you, though, that they paid him $10 million? Because that's not cheap.
No, it's not, but it's probably below what he could have gotten with other teams. I don't know. It's them helping him out. It's him helping them out. It's them coming to an agreement because he's a franchise legend. And they don't value the linebacker position. We know that. Don't fool yourself with what they did last year. They didn't really super invest in that. I'd rather have the 2 starting linebackers, but I'm not surprised they went Fletcher Cox just by franchise trend and how Howie builds a team.
I suggested earlier it was a $10 million insurance policy on Jordan Davis. Do you think that's...
Somewhat true. I think that goes into it. I think it's more it's more the Jason Peters contract, but at least he's more productive than Jason Peters was at this point. But that's more what it feels like to me.
And if we learned anything, I don't think we can simply say The $10 million you could have used for the 2 linebackers.
Right.
You know, you're talking 2 salaries. You're talking how are you capping them? Are you, it might not have been able to be gotten done
Their
that
contracts
easily.
were affordable, though. Both
Somewhat.
of them.
TJ got some money from Chicago. You could have made it work, but I don't hate either option. I just would have gone linebackers. And Swarthmore, I hope they lose by 40.
So you're anti-Swarthmore is
They're
what
in our
you're saying.
conference. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't like when we
You're
played them in
anti.
baseball. They can kick rocks.
All right, there you go. Final
question.
Bob Cooney. Which signing is most likely the one that we will end up having the fan base say they regret after the 2023 season or during it? If one of these signings was going to backfire where people were like, what a waste that was bringing this guy back, who is it? And it's not saying that any of them will end up that way.
Right.
But what would be the most likely one? I like that I stumped you on this one.
Well, it's pretty good. Now, in Fletcher Cox, you have somebody that doesn't garner your attention on each and every play. So I don't know if that'll be scrutinized as much as, say, a corner. And Darius Slay's numbers for the last half of last season were not very good. So I think eyes are on him more than anyone else. So if performance isn't all that good, and I think it would go to Slay. I think people's eyes are on him more than anybody else. So therefore, I think he'll get scrutinized more than anybody else.
Yeah, I do think he's going to be scrutinized the most. And if you don't get C.J. Gardner-Johnson back,
yeah,
double down on that one big time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because then people will really be looking for it. Hey, 5 Eagles questions with Kincade this morning. I actually had you pause on that one.
It's a good question.
Because it's one of those things where you're not assuming that it's going to happen, that it's going to be bad, because they're very much – every one of those guys was very productive last year. Very productive.
Yeah. And, of course, being the follower that we are, once we thought Slay was gone, I went back and started looking things up. And, yeah, his numbers for the second half of the season just were not very good.
No.
Compared to the first half.
Compared to the first half.
Well, no, they just weren't very good altogether.
Right.
Like, quarterbacks had a rating of like 120 against them. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, completion percentage of like 69%. Kind of stuck in my head there, John.
There you go. I figured it would.
Yeah.
Good number for your part.
Yeah, but he's got to be good all season long this year. Yeah.
69%.
Want to send some well wishes for a speedy recovery to our buddy Joe Hoke. I tell you about the Hoke brothers from H&H Heating and Air Conditioning. Joe is on the mend.
Come on, Joe, get better.
Had a little hip replacement.
All right.
So he is getting back on his feet soon, he says. He'll be ready to go. We love H&H Heating and Air Conditioning, DelcoHVAC.com. Joe has worked so hard in his life that the hip finally had to be replaced.
Because you can call them at any hour, and they'll come out and fix your HVAC problem.
Coach knows that. He called on a Sunday afternoon at what, like 3 o'clock?
In the middle of the summertime. They were out there and fixed it that day.
Joe Hoke, get better. Because I think the office is going to go to hell if you're not back in there watching what's going on. And the service at H&H is amazing. So congratulations, Joe, on the quick recovery. We need you. All right, coming up, the 76ers road trip started up big, and the Eagles have so many questions to answer. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. If you You know, you can save up to $800 this week only at Mattress Warehouse, where you get the best mattress at the best price, 0% financing. Where you're more likely to find the perfect mattress, a little mattress store? No. Go to Mattress Warehouse. They've got you covered. All right, I've been inundated with it now on social media. I've now seen it.
Inundated?
Is it
you
inundated?
Have been? Yeah, you have been.
I've seen 7 posts this morning.
7?
7. The best 2 days of the sports year in the world are here. It's the best 2 days ever.
What's wrong with that?
It is not the best 2 days in sports.
You can't tell other people how to feel.
No.
To them, they might think it's the best 2 days in sports.
Better than AFC or NFC wildcard weekend or AFC or NFC divisional weekend? Seriously? Like the
to them it is. I'm not being mean here, but you can't tell other people how to feel.
The best 2 days of the sports year.
Could be.
Well, okay.
To them it
is. But it's weird because a lot of times the people that I hear saying it don't tend to be big college basketball people at any other time. It's like Kentucky Derby fans, where everybody pretends they pay attention to horse racing. No, they want to go to a party and have a good time and hang out.
That's okay.
Which is great. But the best 2 days of the year?
To them it is, John.
Hey, NFC.
It could be all-encompassing, too. It could be that they get together with their friends, and it's something every year they take these 2 days off of work, and, they probably have some gambling going on and stuff. Yeah, are they the biggest college basketball fans, in the country? Probably not, but these 2 days might be their favorite days.
I'll tell you the 2 days of either the 2 weekend days of Wild Card Weekend, where you get now 5 games or 6 games. I'll take that any day of the week, or AFC NFC divisional playoff weekend, where you get those 4 games that weekend. I would take those 2 days. Pat, do you have any other 2 days that you
Wild Card Weekend is definitely up there.
Wild Card Weekend's amazing.
When I have a rooting interest, these 2 days are cool.
Yes, when Temple's in it and we're waiting for that game, and
even when it's not. And I think the beauty of it is that you don't follow it. So you fill out your bracket, you hope for the best. You're following the storylines of these small colleges that you probably have never even thought of, and then all of a sudden you're watching them bust your bracket, but it's a cool story because, it's a bunch of goofy-looking guys that are going to go sell insurance in 2 weeks. I think that's the beauty of this weekend. I think that's why so many people like it. Yeah, they're not educated on it. They're not diehard college basketball fans. The ignorance is bliss in this situation.
Oh, there's plenty of ignorance. Just check out my picks most years. There's plenty of ignorance.
Well, usually, every office has this, but usually the guy that really knows the most about college basketball does the worst in the bracket.
Because of weird things that happen.
And then usually the person that wins the bracket knows the least. They're picking on mascots and colors and whatnot.
Whatnot.
Yeah.
These are
two of the best days.
They are. They are. To watch basketball from noon until midnight and then do it again the next day, that is awesome.
Tyler tweets in, he says, I, for one, think these next 2 days are better than Wild Card Weekend. Okay? That's very interesting. I just, maybe it's because I'm such a football fan, or the days of the wild card games in baseball, where you're watching the best 2 out of 3, those games where you have those series going on. I think I'm going to put that up on my list as better 2 days too.
Yeah, I consider myself a sports fan. I love Saturday and Sunday of the Masters. There's plenty of people.
That's another
right now,
2 days that were really good.
There's plenty of people out there right now going, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?" But that's just what I like.
Yeah,
I'm people to say they think this is the best 2 days of sports, they could be the biggest sports fans in the world. I'm not going to disagree with them. Good for them.
You think, Patty?
I spread the happiness.
The Masters is something that I know a lot of people are into. I just can't get into it.
Yeah,
so and
I understand that.
I appreciate how excited people like Bob get for the Masters, because it's cool. It's
awesome.
You look forward to this all year long, so I'm not going to yuck the yum.
There's 2 days.
That's it. Don't yuck the yum.
It's going to be. That's
my favorite saying of yours that you've ever given.
That's a very Southern.
Yeah.
Jen uses it too. They teach the Southern kids that. Now, some of the Southern kids aren't as smart. I can just tell you that. Hey, the 76ers starting Cleveland last night. Big win last night. Putting the Cavs into the 4 seed and securing they're not slipping below the 3 seed. One of the thoughts I was having last night, though, is when you know that you've got the 3 seed locked up, do you consider to any kind of maintenance down the stretch of how you play your players?
Nope.
Because they tend to. So you do believe this is going to be all out, rest of the way, no load maintenance, none of that stuff?
No, as I said before, not until maybe the last game or two when you know where you're. Look, they have a real good shot at that number 2 seed. You're not giving anybody rest and giving up any games now. No chance in hell. You were probably, to say more to it, when you got done your game last night, one of the first things you did as a 76ers player, coach, whatever, was look at that scoreboard and see how Boston's doing against Minnesota. They want that 2 seed.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and many may say they need that 2 seed. Now, there's this is full, and as I talked about the defense changing over the last 10 games or so, they're getting in playoff mode, the Sixers are.
Well, one of the things, Pat, that I would say is that right now the 2 seed, if you do get up there and get that 2 seed, yes, you would have Game 7 against Boston in your building if it came down to that. But you also are setting yourself up for a Miami series versus playing the Knicks or the Nets. Does that in any way interest you or concern you at all?
No, I mean, it's like, Miami, the talent level I don't think is there this year, but they're well coached. They always kind of concern me. The Knicks concern me, though, in the sense of they're good at give you a series. Like, you'll feel it. You'll come out of that Knicks series with a win, but you will feel every one of those wins.
Yeah, I worry about that one.
They play you tough, so it doesn't seem like either's really a gimme.
Yeah, I no series is a gimme to me in the NBA. Are the Sixers more talented than Miami? Yeah, I think they take Miami, New York. Who's the other team you mentioned? Brooklyn. Of those 3, I think 2 of the 3 will give you a really good series. I think the Sixers could take Brooklyn pretty easily, but I think the Brooklyn and Miami will give you a good series. Miami just doesn't have the firepower to stick with you.
Here's one thing I'm looking at if you played Brooklyn. Especially if you end up with some weekend games. Sixers could take over that arena. They're having deals right now in Brooklyn where buy tickets now to guarantee yourself tickets for the playoffs. Buy tickets down the stretch, and you can guarantee yourself you can get playoff tickets. That's a team. Sixers aren't doing that. There's no worry about that right now. I'm thinking, too, Sixers fans would jump on the train, go up to Brooklyn.
It's easy, yeah. You
have
get
their
the
voice
train,
heard.
and then you get the
So
subway
nice.
over. Yeah, it's an easy get to.
I think that's going to be a Philly sports trips.
You got to think Vince is thinking about that, right?
Yeah, I mean he's done that. He's done that trip a few times,
and he's found tickets
successfully.
Yes,
done that trip. Which I mean, he's never had an unsuccessful trip.
No, I don't think so.
Well, Philly sports trips does.
That's great. So Cuz and Chunas back to work today. They'll be at Parks Casino. I'll join them later on today from noon to 2. The chances that Anthony and Andrew are really perky and ready to go today, that's a lot of travel as they come back from spring training. I mean, they're bringing back, you think they're suntan a little bit? A little sun?
Probably, yeah.
It sounded like they had a blast. Absolute blast.
Yeah, Chunas, I can tell Chunas had some fun.
That's right, brother. That is great. I just think about Anthony getting around. I feel
that was probably an adventure, yeah.
I can only imagine. Get to an airport.
I'm anxious to ask Chunas how that all went down.
Okay, so I wanted to bring this up in the notes that I put together for the show today, and now it ends up really coming back and smacking Rodney McLeod in the face. Rodney McLeod tweets out after the Slade departure news came down yesterday, which, by the way, he never left. Darius Slay was never cut. So the information was false. But the information, when a player and his wife tell you that they're gone, you just assume that the information is correct.
Yeah.
They never parted ways. I don't understand it. I don't understand what happened here. Darius Slay was never cut by the Eagles. They never cut him. But he went out and said, goodbye, Philly, it's done, and we're done. And his wife says, we're out of here. Mrs. Slay's like, we're done. We love Philly, nothing but love. This was the best. I don't know what's going on. What happened there? But more importantly now, Rodney McLeod says, loyalty is hard to find in this business. Shake my head. when he hears about the departure of Darius Slay, which never happened at all. When you're talking about paying players, would the Eagles in any way have been disloyal to Darius Slay to not pay him? Would that have been considered disloyal?
It goes back to the saying that every player says, and they hate saying it, but they'll say it. It's a business.
But Rodney McLeod doesn't understand it. He's saying loyalty's hard to find in the business. In fact, that came back, and I haven't seen a tweet then where Rodney, he may not have gotten the news yet, that the Eagles, I guess, he now must say, boy, they showed immense loyalty because they got Darius Slay back. Look, it's about money. It's about a salary cap. It's about a collective bargaining agreement that Rodney McLeod and his peers negotiated to be able to work under.
Yeah. I don't know the ins and outs of it. Like the loyalty part of it, well, they did make it happen. So does Rodney McLeod, is he friendly with Darius Slay that he called him and said, what's going on here? And Slay said, well, they're not doing this, and that's why they're going to release me. And then McLeod comes back with, damn. They seems like they could have worked that out if they were going to be loyal to you. And then later on they did.
Well, I hope Rodney then puts out the tweet today and goes, boy, the Eagles organization is really loyal.
I agree with you.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. I still can't figure. Pat, do you have any idea what happened here? Like, do you think, is there any chance that Darius Slay was trying to turn public opinion in his favor?
No, I think it was the complete other way around.
The
Eagles clearly put out the story of we're letting Darius Slay seek a trade, because then he had to go on his podcast and say, I never asked for a trade. Let me make that clear. So they put that story out there, which makes it look like, it's putting the onus on him. Oh, all right, you think you're worth this, go find a trade partner. Couldn't do it. And then, look, we all know that Shefty and Howie have some sort of relationship. Who broke the Darius Slay news? It was Shefty.
Right, exactly.
So Shefty tweets out the Eagles are planning to release Darius Slay. And Darius Slay's like, whoa, hold on a second. And maybe that offer you gave me wasn't too bad. He's the first person that I saw that actually didn't necessarily dispute it, but didn't close the door on Darius coming back was Derek Gunn. And he tweeted out like, hey, they are planning to release him if they can't rework this, but it didn't seem like the deal was dead. And Derek Gunn put out the parameters of this is what Darius Slay wanted, which was, I think, a 3-year guaranteed contract. And the Eagles weren't willing to do that. And if they can't find a middle ground, then they're going to cut him. So I think that they were able to suddenly find a middle ground because Darius Slay didn't want to leave. The Eagles knew that, and they used it to their advantage. And they said, all right, well, if you don't agree to it, we're just going to cut you.
I think the middle ground that they found, Bob, was that Pat speaks about there, was Darius Slay finding out that money wasn't out there on the open market. And Drew Rosenhaus is one of the better agents at finding money, that he didn't find it.
Yeah.
For Darius Slay.
There could have been a lot of things that came into play and things that, maybe sometimes we don't even think about as fans of the sport. Like Slay's wife coming out on social media, and somebody who's friends with her, shared with me the text message like, is this really happening? And her saying, yeah, I'm seriously crying. And then this morning, wait, you're back? Yes, I'm crying again.
It's so awesome.
It could have been something where Slay went to his wife and says, yeah, I'm not agreeing to this, so it looks like they're going to let me go. And maybe his wife or somebody and his agent, maybe they all got together and said, agree to it. Dude, agree to it, because this is the best place for you to be. And then maybe he said, you know what? Okay, let's do it. And maybe the call went back to the Eagles. I don't know.
Do you think we're ever going to get this story? Like, find out what happens? Or do you think the teams try to
Slay
keep it?
Gives it?
Do you think the teams try to keep it under wraps?
I don't think that the teams won't. In my belief and my experience, teams don't talk about the intricacies of dealing with a contract. That's ignorant. That's like a boss, one of our bosses, having contract talks with us, and then going and talking to somebody else about it. That's disrespectful in my book.
No, I agree with you. I don't think it should happen.
I have never had the case happen to me that the particulars of a contract talk were given to me. You just don't do that.
No, it shouldn't happen.
No.
That absolutely should not happen.
Yeah, if it comes from anyone, it'll come from Slay, I think.
All right, Pat, I wanted to save this story here. We just have had so much Eagles and so much Sixers today. The Edwin Diaz injury from yesterday. If you haven't seen it, Edwin Diaz, the trumpets guy for the Mets gets injured in a World Baseball Classic game last night, celebrating the victory, jumping up and down, and it appears it could be a knee or an Achilles injury. Depending on the two, they had to bring him off on a wheelchair after the game.
Mm-hmm. Paul Pierce style.
Exactly. So are you thinking this is high theater, or do you think that?
No, I think he's legitimately injured. I think he's the baseball Martin Gramatica. I think this is the most Mets injury of all time.
This is incredible.
You just watch your $100 million closer go to a let's be real here. It's a meaningless tournament.
That, by the way, just to put in there, Pat, is getting lesser TV ratings than some of the WNBA games.
I don't care about the ratings.
Well, nobody's watching.
But
nobody's watching.
It's kind of a meaningless tournament, and you just watch your $100 million closer break down, and probably is now going to be out for the season. It looks like it, at least. I mean, the early return. So I think what's going to happen, though, is they're going to have to rework this, because after this injury, after a team just gave a guy $100 million and they just watched him go down with the stupidest injury in the world, they're celebrating. But I think now teams are going to go, yeah, we're not sending our guys.
This would never happen.
Not that the teams are electing, hey, here's our guys. It's more of like, yes, we'll let you go. But I wonder how many teams now are going to start pulling some of the guys out.
You would not be jumping up and down in a spring training game celebrating a victory.
I mean, this is a really nice thing that they do, because baseball is back to being in the Olympics, but it wasn't for years, and some of these players did play in the Olympics for their countries. But if they want to do this, just model it after what hockey does. Have a 2-week break, have it during the summer, have Olympic baseball, and let these guys actually go out and win gold medals instead of this made-up tournament that you had, because these guys don't get to represent their country if they're professionals.
And by the way, Garrett Stubbs now injured for the Phillies too.
It's a minor injury.
Yeah,
I don't care. It's an injury
like that. I put as the Ranger Suarez type. Hey, I felt a tweak or something. Like I'm gonna come back. I'm not worried about Garrett Stubbs. He barely plays anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird thing whereas managers have to sit there and hold their breath. You know, Trey Turner's over there. JT Realmuto's over there. Kyle Schwarber. Like, you hold your breath. Like, oh, my God.
No, you do.
Please, nothing happen. Please don't let a wild 102-mile-an-hour thrower from Great Britain who nobody's ever heard of come in here and buzz my guy in the head or something like that. You know what I mean? I agree with Pat. It's kind of silly to have all this now.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense. I mean, the whole tournament doesn't make sense, and I know Pat doesn't care about the ratings. Nobody's watching. Now, the games are odd. They're odd times. But even traction as far as they have trouble getting placement they're having trouble getting placement of their highlights, complaining about highlights not being shown because ESPN is focusing on free agency and the NBA. I mean, like they're not even getting good placement on people caring about here's the highlights of the games. Don't care.
I thought I'd be more in on it than I am. And to be honest, I haven't watched the game yet. I've watched some highlights. I just haven't been in on it. And maybe it is because of free agency, NCAA basketball, whatever it may be. I'd rather watch a Phillies spring training game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I much more enjoy that because it feels like, in listening to Cousin Chunas, it feels like you got taken there a little bit the last few days, which is pretty great. So by the way, when we were talking about the bracket, that was our bracket within the station. I've had a bunch of people jumping out going, tell us where the bracket is. Tell us where the bracket is. No.
It's an in-house
This is just an in-house thing. So we appreciate you, but that is just an in-house type of situation there. Did you see, Pat, Sydney, the young lady whose wheelchair, who, by the way, Sydney has no legs. The woman, the young lady.
If people that aren't aware, Mercyhurst University, Danny Briere's, I think his oldest son, Carson, was caught on video just chucking a wheelchair for no reason down steps. Wheelchair got broken, and it was for a girl that legitimately needed it.
She has no legs.
That's ridiculous.
And thankfully, Sullivan's is the name of the bar. And Sullivan's has been trying to help her out and everything. And they put a GoFundMe page together.
I did see that.
And awesome. I would say I appreciate Sydney. This young lady is amazing. She calls herself Legless Wonder.
That's funny.
which is pretty cool. And she says, I don't want to keep a cent of the donated money. I would much rather give it to those who need it.
Wow.
So people who are donating to her because of this terrible incident,
She's gonna pass it on.
she's going to pass it on and figure out ways that she can donate it.
The Flyers and Danny Briere put out a statement that condemns the actions of his son.
By the way, why did that? I heard about this yesterday. Why did the Flyers put out a statement?
Well, I think it's like, I don't know if Danny Briere is even on Twitter or whatnot. I think because he's the GM, you kind of have to put it out through the team, I guess, because he's going to get asked about it. But my first thought was, well, how about instead of a statement, you just buy the poor girl a new wheelchair, and he might do that.
Could very well.
He should do that.
It's such a disgusting.
I don't mean a pocket watch, but dude, you got the money and your son did it. Like, you got to clean up that mess.
Yeah,
There shouldn't be a GoFundMe set up. You, as a former pro athlete, now the NHL GM, should be footing the bill because your kid was a jackass for the second time in his hockey career because he got kicked off the Arizona State team.
I feel bad for Danny Briere, though.
I do too.
Because this doesn't have anything to do with him.
No, and it's a black mark a week into the job that now he's got to deal with.
And by the
It
way,
has nothing to do, as you said, it has nothing to do with him, but he's got to clean up his son's mess.
and he has children, various children, and just because your child does, by the way, your child does something at 22, I think, or 22 or 23, that has no reflection on you. You could have been the greatest parent in the world, and your other kids may not act like antisocial a-holes. I mean, and it has no reflection on him. I thought it was weird the Flyers put out a statement.
Well, I didn't. You want to nip this in the bud, and I don't mean that in a mean way at all. Like, you want to correct it, I should say, not nip it in the bud. And part of that, if the Flyers didn't say anything, wouldn't we be on them?
No, I'd say Danny Briere put out a statement.
Well, yeah.
But he can put out a personal statement. The Philadelphia Flyers organization putting out a statement.
Well, they put a quote out.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's terrible that the poor Danny Briere has fought for this opportunity, and then his son takes away from him at a critical time. We're going to try to talk to Danny later on in the week. By the way, if you don't listen to the best show ever, you're missing out. And I know we're not talking a lot of hockey right now, but I loved hearing from John Tortorella yesterday. And I loved hearing about what's going on with the perspective he's taken on his team down the stretch, what he wants to do. There was a great conversation yesterday. Don't miss the best show ever every afternoon right here on The Fanatic. We've got the game time coming up at 8:30, so your chance to win life-changing prizes and more. It's the first day of the tournament, and Pat says, the Eagles situation's up for grabs right now. We don't even know what the secondary is going to look like. We'll get to that coming up. Mike Morales, congratulations. You were our qualifier today. You got 2 tickets to see the Sixers play the Mavs, and you'll play some knockout with us down on the court on March 29th. It's the John Kincade Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I was already wishing Joe Hoke
Ron Kincade Show.
On 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Yeah, college hoops today and more. And Cousin Chunas will be out at Parks Casino today and tomorrow doing their show. You can go on out, watch the games. I'll be there today from noon to 2. I believe Ricky Pitalico will be out there this morning, too, if I'm not mistaken. So, great chance to come on out. All the Parks crew will be out. It's a great spot. Bob, one of the best sports books as far as the I love the big leather loungers. Except they, like when you go to a movie, Pat, you love those at the movies, right? The big, like the reclining loungers.
Depends. I've had some issues.
Is that the mice?
Yes.
See, that creeps me out, man.
Yeah, look, they're great in principle and
they don't have mice at parks, is what I'm going to tell you.
Some of them too, no, I wouldn't think so. I would not think so. But some of them are heated, which is cool.
Heated?
Yeah.
I have never seen
the
that.
one movie theater I go to in select theaters. It's not everyone.
It's
select
heated?
theaters. You can have a button.
Are they cool too? No, so they're not cool.
No, but it's just nice.
That's amazing.
Warms your fanny.
Do you ever use it to warm up the food that you sneak into the?
No, I've never used it for that. Although I have used the heated seats in my car to keep stuff warm.
You've done that?
Yeah, I mean, it can't hurt.
Taking home your PJ's Brussels sprouts?
Right? Like,
no.
I mean,
it can't hurt.
Yeah, put on the little heated seat and see what happens. Do I really think it makes that much of an impact? No. But as I said, it can't hurt.
It's psychological. I hate the sweat of the take. We do not do. We are not a takeout food family. So it's like, but one of the things I hate is when you get it and it's like
condensation.
Sweaty. Yes, that's like to me is awful.
I'm with you. Usually, what I'll when I get like a sandwich and they put it on the plate, the heat from the sandwich because I don't do cold sandwich. So like if I get a Reuben, for example, and it's grilled, I'll immediately put half of it on top of the French fries.
Oh,
because if I keep it on the plate, the condensation ruins the bread.
Yeah, it makes it all sweaty.
Yeah, so by the time I finish the one half of the Reuben, I go to eat the other half. It's all gross and mealy and whatnot. So I'll put one half on the French fries, and that kind of keeps it a little bit of a buffer.
Coach, you have any thoughts as a chef that to work that? Pat, that's sort of next level genius.
Yeah, well, I have some tips out there for the folks.
I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Food condensation bothers you, huh?
Oh yeah. On a plate. Like when the plate gets all like sort of wet.
So that bothers you?
Yes, because I don't want my food to be
doesn't bother you?
Dripping in water. No.
Really?
How about takeout food? How about takeout food when you open up like the when they come in the
plastic container,
tin foil, or the cup, and you open up the container and it's like got water all over.
Yeah, it's an annoyance if it's there.
But you don't
But I'm not going to not do takeout because there might be some condensation on the roof of the container.
I'm not a takeout. I do not believe the food tastes anything like it does when you get it fresh.
It depends where you get it from and what you're getting.
What do you get?
I don't get
pizza,
it like
pizza
8
we
counties
take
over.
out. Well, pizza we take out.
I usually get it from a place that's like 5 minutes away, so the condensation factor isn't all that high.
PJ's, wings, or pizza. I can't think of anything else, though. Like, I don't want a burger. I definitely never would want fries.
Takeout Chinese.
Love me some Chinese takeout.
See,
I mean, if you get like a Primo, for example,
right?
Like that.
Oh, wait a minute. That's fine. Yes,
it's great little takeout.
Yeah, because it's not heated.
It does depend though. Like there are some things that do not travel well. Fries are definitely one of them.
Fries are terrible.
Burgers are definitely one. Like they usually don't travel well.
So the key to the fry is here's the key to pick up. Also, you get there early, so that when they bring it out of the kitchen, you're getting it right away.
I thought you did that so you could grab a beer.
Well, that's one of the keys. Those are two keys. And then when you get in the car with French fries, you open them right away.
I'll do that immediately.
Yeah,
so you open them immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting one.
No matter what I'm getting, if I get something to go, I will, as soon as I get in the car, pop the lid.
Let the air out.
Let the air out.
Okay,
so it doesn't get.
Doesn't that make it get cold though?
It's the give and take.
Yeah,
John.
like I said, I'm not going 45 minutes away from my takeout. Like I'm not going to China for my Chinese food.
You don't.
I go right around the corner, so it's a very quick drive. Yeah,
I mean,
China.
Unfortunately, the takeout technology has not advanced with our society yet. I hope that one day my grandkids can live in a world where takeout is as good as eating in the restaurant, but it's just not there yet. So I have to take the give and the take.
How about what you worry about for Jack's future is amazing. I like that. You're worried about that for Jack. All right. When you say that, how close is your takeout places you get stuff from?
My Chinese place is literally right around the corner.
So you're talking about
maybe a minute drive.
Less than 2 miles?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The place that we get sandwiches from, like 3 blocks away.
Okay.
I have PJ's is maybe 5 minutes away.
Okay, so this is
I get them from.
This is the difference. Is just sort of geography of homes. Like it would take a mile and a half to get out of my neighborhood. Like to be able to get to where I could get to a main drag. The closest thing I would have is a Wawa. By the way, I have a good Wawa, too.
That is a good Wawa. I'll tell you, the one thing that does travel well, takeout, is Italian food. Because the condensation doesn't affect it
Wouldn't
at all.
affect it, too, on the noodle.
There's an Italian place I go to in Kincade. That's about a 20-minute drive. So 20-minute there, 20-minute back, and the food's great.
What do you get? Are you talking about like one entree?
Yeah, well, you get the entrees. Might get an app, might get bruschetta.
See, we have
Carlino.
We have Carlino's where you can have the Carlino's takeout. So you can get it's where you bake it at home. So you go in and you get the Italian entree.
Yeah.
And you can bake it at home.
That's
where it's refrigerated. So you bring it home and then you cook it later.
Yeah, so when we
shout out to the folks at Carlino's in Westchester.
Yeah, sometimes we order from a place, Tacconelli's, which is popular over here, and there's a couple over in Jersey now. And when you call and order it for pickup, they'll cook it halfway. They'll tell you. They say, you want us to cook it halfway, whole way? And they cook it halfway, and then they give you instructions of what to do to cook it fully. And it's the best. It's some of the best pizza.
There's a place in Havertown that like it was called Mom's Bake at Home Pizza.
Okay, I know
Their
Mom's
whole
Bake at
thing
Home.
Was you order the pizza, but you go home and you bake it.
Yes.
At your place.
I love the take and bakes is a great concept. There's one of them in. There's also one in right across from the old Dairy Queen on Westchester Pike and Providence Road.
Okay.
There's one of those too, where you can do the take and bake. Go on, take it home, put it 10 minutes in the oven,
and you're
living life.
Yeah.
And when Bob taught me, Coach, to put the pan into the oven when the oven was preheating, it changed everything for me because that is when I get my Hills seafood.
Game changer.
That's what I do.
Wait, what do you do?
Put the pan. So like if I do the pre-prepared fish where they'll season some fish and everything, and you have to cook it. I'll put the tin foil on the baking pan, and when I'm warming up the oven, Bob said, "Well, you don't put the pan cold into the preheated oven. Let the pan heat up in the oven.
If you let the pan heat up and then put your food in it, it'll make for a nice crispiness on whatever you're cooking.
That's a really good idea.
It's next level.
I never thought about that.
And it makes if you get the takeout fish, which I love fish, and if you could have the crispiness on the bottom, it never was crispy on the bottom until I followed Bob's advice. Now my fish is crispy all over.
Sounds like a PSA right now.
I think that's why Bob does cooking with Cooney.
You were
which
living
we
in
don't
the
do enough in the
darkness.
winter.
Bob helped you he showed you the light.
All right, phone lines are going to be open now. You want to line up to play Game Time with us. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. So you can get involved with Game Day. And we know those of you who are streaming or on YouTube, we'd love to see you jump on in too. Is your home renovation plan hibernating? Start planning that kitchen of your dreams with Colonial Marble and Granite. You've heard Anthony Gargano talk about it to you. Save and go to colonialmarble.net. Cuz is not steering you wrong. They do beautiful work. Check out Colonial Marble and Granite. 610-632-0975. Let's have game time.
It's Thursday at 8:30, which means game time. Today we are playing Do I Have Some Irish in Me or Not?
They're always after me, Lucky Charms.
Now here's your master of ceremonies, a man who knows exactly what's on the other side of the rainbow, Pat Egan.
Hello, Patrick.
Yes, we were playing Do I Have Some Irish in Me, which after that trip to Arizona, after bunking up with Bob, I in fact do.
That's
the
awesome.
way this game's going to work.
They did.
I did, yeah. The way this game's going to work, 610-632-0975. I'm simply going to give you an athlete. You have to tell me if they were born in the States or born in Ireland. It's that simple. So I give you the athlete, you say America, or you say Ireland.
Ireland.
You guys would be playing for the callers.
Okay, we're playing, and then
Because I don't think we should put pressure on the callers, and I want to see you guys keep our listeners.
Okay.
So no pressure on you, but if you get it wrong, we're probably losing people.
All right, so we're gonna do great today.
Yeah, let's start out with Ben in Westchester.
Ben, what's going on, my brother?
Yo.
What's up, Ben?
Happening.
Let's see if we can do it here,
All right,
Pat.
Ben, you are matched up with John Kincade. John, I think we're going to give you an easy one to start out. Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor, born in the States or born in Ireland?
Born in Ireland.
Ooh, let's find out. Yes,
Yes.
he was indeed born.
That was an easy one.
It was an easy one, yes. He's born on July 14th, 1988 in Dublin,
Bastille
Ireland.
Day.
Is it Bastille Day?
Yes, that is Bastille
Look,
Day.
you just kept a listener. Ben,
Good job, Ben.
has won a pair of tickets for Friday's Flyers-Sabres game. Tickets available at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com for that one.
What did we really keep a listener with?
Do the callers have a
That
chance to
prize.
disagree with us or no?
Do you want to do
No,
another?
I was
If
just
they
asking.
want to
honestly.
if they
I was
want to
just asking.
disagree with this, they should.
No, I like that.
If they
Okay.
can. Good job,
All right.
Ben.
All right, let's go in Colin in Westchester.
Wow, we're
Hey,
going
Colin.
double Westchester.
Ah,
Hey, good morning, guys.
how you doing, buddy?
Colin, you've got Bob Cooney. All right, and he knows about Ireland because he played for Camden Catholic. They're the Fighting Irish. Bob,
That's good.
the athlete I'll give you, baseball player Patty Bauman. Patty Bauman.
I'm gonna say Patty Bauman is. I'm gonna say American.
Do you agree or disagree with that, Colin?
I'll agree with Bob. He sounds confident.
Good job on that.
All right.
Patty Bauman played for the Yankees and the Tigers. He was born in Indianapolis.
Wow,
That's
PAD.
excellent.
Never heard of him.
You are
Bob.
going to win a pair
Job,
of tickets to go see Adam Sandler live on Friday, April 14th, Wells Fargo Center. Tickets are now on sale at wellsfargocenterphilly.com.
That's a great prize.
Let's go to John in the Northeast.
John, what's going on this morning, my brother?
Good morning, everybody.
All right, buddy. Let's see if we
John,
can make
you're
you
matched
winner.
up with your namesake, John. The athlete I will give you, Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy,
He was-
States or Ireland?
He was born in Ireland.
Do you agree or disagree, John?
Yeah, I think Rory was from Ireland. I'm going to agree with John.
There
good,
you go.
Good move on that. He
Good
was
job,
born in
John.
Northern Ireland, and Rory McIlroy and John Kincade just won you a pair of tickets to go see Sarah Silverman at the Met on May 4th. Tickets are now on sale at Ticketmaster.com.
Okay, Pat, you do have some good prizes today.
We have really good prizes, yeah.
Really good. I've never seen Sarah Silverman do stand up. You good?
Yeah, very
Okay.
funny. Yes. All right, let's keep it rolling with John in Doylestown.
John better come out opening day and watch baseball with us, John. We'll be at the PJs there.
Yeah, sounds like a good time.
All right, you're
on out.
matched up with Bob Cooney. Nothing to sneeze at here with Johnny Sexton is the name. Johnny Sexton. Was he born in the States or born in Ireland?
I'm gonna go Ireland on this one.
John, do you agree or disagree?
I'm going to disagree. I'm sorry, Bob.
You shouldn't have done that. No, so
John!
the tell here has to be that Johnny Sexton on the surface doesn't sound like an Irish name, so you figure.
See, I thought that might be the tell
Got to
also.
be, yeah, born in Ireland, and in fact, he was born in Ireland. He was born in Dublin in 1985, and he's a rugby player.
Wow.
Because Coach knows all the sports and he knows rugby. Let's
He
keep
does.
it rolling to Pat in the Northeast.
What's up, Pat?
Pretty
It
sure-
sounds like you're a
pretty
nice
sure-
Irishman.
Yeah, Pat's Irish.
What's going on, Patrick?
The Irish pride of Cardinal Doherty.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you go.
I gotta find a good prize. You're winning.
Two
no matter
Pats from
what.
Cardinal Doherty.
All right, let's give you Conor McGregor again. Scotty Bowman. Scotty Bowman was he born in Ireland or not?
Wow, I got to tell you, Pat, I'm going to say he was born in the States.
All right, do you agree or disagree, Pat?
I agree.
All right, that's a good move.
There
so this
we
is
go.
weird. So initially it was States or Ireland, but he was born in Montreal. The fact is, though,
I
he
was
wasn't-
gonna say,
he
I-
wasn't born.
yeah.
In
He was not
Ireland.
born in Ireland.
I was set up for failure, but Pat in the Northeast, you were going to end up getting
He's going to pick the best thing for you,
Yeah,
Pat.
we'll give you a $50 Metro Dining gift card.
How about that?
Now serving new stack sandwiches. Bite into Metro Diner's crispy fried chicken or shrimp po' boys, layered with fresh lettuce, tomato, and chipotle ranch.
Oh my
Served
gosh.
on a hoagie roll. Visit MetroDiner.com. Big fans of the Cardinal Doherty Cardinals.
And we're big fans of Metro Diner.
Yes.
Huge fans.
Let's go to Rich in South Philly next.
Rich, what's going on, brother?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Bob's going to give you a winner.
Yeah, Rich,
Hey, Rich.
You're matched up with Bob. Bob, the name you gave is Pat
I'm sorry?
O'Callahan. Patrick, a.k.a. Pat O'Callahan.
Well, there's probably a lot of Patrick O'Callahans. It sounds Irish, but I'm going to say not Ireland.
Do you agree or disagree, Colin? Or I'm sorry, Rich.
You know what? Bob sounds confident. I'm going to have to agree with Bob.
Oh, no.
Way to go,
Damn
Bob.
it.
Bob's killing
Way to
people
go.
on St.
Rich.
Patrick's
I'm sorry,
Day.
man.
Killing
I'm
piss
sorry,
off.
Rich.
Rich, I'm going to actually... Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. If Rich calls back, I was going to give him a pair of run-in engagement passes to see Champions, the movie starring Woody Harrelson, Caitlin Olsen, and Cheech Marin. It's in theaters now. It's very funny.
Caitlin Olsen?
I'm
It's
sure
hilarious.
there's a Patrick O'Callahan that was born in the United States.
Well, not the one that we were looking for, Bob, because Olympic gold medalist Pat O'Callahan was the first athlete from Ireland to win an Olympic gold medal under the Irish flag in sport. He then became regarded as one of Ireland's greatest ever athletes, born on the 28th
Really?
in Cork County, Ireland. So no,
Nothing.
My fault.
no, that guy wasn't born in Skikiki, Illinois.
I'm going to see if I can go
Move
perfect
on.
on this one.
Apologize.
Let's go to Anthony on the cell. Got a couple more of these.
Nothing. St. Patrick, though, was Italian.
Yes,
Anthony,
he
did
was.
you know that? Anthony's on the line.
I don't think Anthony really.
How are you?
Did
cares
you know
about
that
Saint-
Anthony was St. Patrick was Italian?
Yes, I did.
There you go.
Cool.
Let's make it 4 for 4.
I'm American, and so is John, but we're going to give you actor Connor Angus Cloud Hickey. Who?
Connor Angus Cloud Hickey.
I don't know who the hell he is, but is he born
Okay,
in Ireland? or
I am
not?
guessing that this is a fake. This is a fake out. So I'm going to say he was born in the States.
Do you agree or disagree, Anthony?
I'm going to agree with John.
Yeah, good move. So this guy I've never heard of was apparently he's on Euphoria, but he was born in Oakland, California. So
Euphoria.
there's that.
Okay.
Anthony.
One more?
You were going to end up winning a pair of tickets for Friday's Flyers-Sabres game. Tickets available at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com. Yeah, let's get one more in here.
Okay.
Because Bob's kind of sucked at this game, so we're going
I've
to
had one wrong.
We haven't been good.
No, I was right. The guy disagreed with me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
that's
you
the
didn't
truth.
sound confident enough, so really you got two wrong.
I was perfect.
Yeah, no.
Like Ricky
John's killing
Metallico
you, dude. Like,
on
people are
10
talking
Second
far
Song.
and wide.
Are we going to get to it or not?
Yes.
Now you guys are pissing me off.
We're going to go to Rennie, I believe. Rennie in Mayfair?
Kenny.
Is it say Kenny? My eyesight's horrible.
Oh, your eyesight's terrible.
You need glasses. What's up, Kenny?
Relax.
How are you doing, guys?
Good.
All right. Let's find out if Bob actually knows basketball. We're going to give him Kevin McHale.
That would be the United States of America.
Kenny, do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Let's find out. No,
Wait,
jackass.
whoa.
No, I'm kidding. He was.
I just
got
wanted to scare you.
Got his ass. Yeah. Kenny, you win. Don't worry.
Kenny's from
Kenny's a
Minnesota.
winner.
Scare Bobby.
I think he's from Minnesota.
Yeah, he is. Bobby Basketball nailed that one. And Kenny, you're going to win a pair of tickets to Adam Sandler Live on Friday, April 14th at Wells Fargo Center. Tickets are now on sale at wellsfargocenterphilly.com.
There you go. Look at that. Great job. Great job with that, Coach. You have a little Irish in you.
Scotty
Would you-
Bauman one, I threw a
Would you
pass.
like some?
If we didn't have such a good person running the show, it could have gone astray.
So we have two more that I'll give you. Okay? And I'll just give them to you guys. We have footballer George Best.
Outside the country. Ireland.
Bobby?
I'll agree.
Yes. In fact, he was born in Belfast, Northern Ireland.
The fact that he was called
1946.
football.
One of the best footballers of all time. And I want to say they have wrong. Probably am. And then I will give you Connor McDavid.
Not born in Ireland.
Do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Canadian professional ice hockey
Yes.
center and captain of the Edmonton Oilers and the best hockey player in the world, Connor McDavid,
It's freaking
was
awesome.
born in Richmond Hill, Canada. Both of you gentlemen are going to win a pair of run of engagement passes to see Champions, starring Woody Harrelson, Caitlin Olsen, Cheech Marin. It is Pat Egan approved, and it's in theaters now.
You've seen that, right?
You saw it, you liked it.
So damn funny.
Yeah, you see. I do remember you telling me.
It
how
reminds
good
me. It's a mix of The Mighty Ducks.
Okay.
And the movie The Ringer, the Johnny Knoxville movie.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's very, very funny.
I saw that in a plane.
It's a feel-good movie too.
Okay, good.
It's one of those movies you're gonna go in, you're gonna start feeling good about it. It's got basketball. Bob likes basketball.
Okay, I am this back and forth on Woody Harrelson as an actor. I like him in some things a lot, and then other things I.
So I'll tell you in the movie, you can't really focus on the basketball part.
Okay, so don't
because when he's actually coaching in a quasi-professional league, it's cringeworthy.
Okay.
And it's because of what we do for a living. You're like, oh, that's bad acting.
It's like watching Keanu Reeves throw a football.
Hey, we don't besmirch John Wick.
Okay, I'm just saying. Well, no, in John Wick, he was
John
very
Wick
talented.
could kill you with a football. But other than that, like the actual story and all that, he's very, very good in it.
I didn't mind him. I saw some of the highlights from Saturday Night Live a few weeks ago. He was pretty funny. He did a good job.
I didn't see it. I like him
as an actor.
Yeah, okay. Hasn't been anything that's really bothered me that he's been in.
Where do you fall on McConaughey?
I don't mind him
as an actor.
Yeah,
do you tend to go?
I'm not gonna search him out, but I like him.
Okay, see now that's how I'm like I'm never gonna search him out.
There's very few actors though I'll search out.
Who would be an actor you would search out?
I mean,
or
Denzel,
actress, or actress, like Denzel.
Jessica Chastain. I'll see anything she's in. She's the best actress in the world.
She's very good.
Why'd you laugh?
No, I mean she's very,
I thought you were
not bad to look at either.
That's what I thought you were going.
I'm not remotely attracted to her, but I think she's just an incredible actress.
She is incredible.
She should have won an Oscar for Zero Dark 30. It's a crime. Christian Bale, another guy that I'll pretty much watch anything.
I love Christian Bale.
Kind of a jerk, but he's very talented.
What's that? What is that?
Yeah, he hasn't treated people well.
Is that the one? Did he do a meltdown sort of like Tom Cruise?
He did. He was on Terminator.
Really?
Yeah.
And he had the meltdown.
He had a huge meltdown. That's where we get some of our drops of like, what don't you understand and good for you. He didn't handle a lot of things too well. Yeah.
Oh,
so
boy.
What don't you understand?
Oh wow.
Tom Hanks. Anything he's in, I'll search
Tom
out
Hanks.
and watch.
Tom Hanks. I'd watch. Except I can't.
He's been in a lot of clunkers.
I can't
lately.
sit down to the Elvis movie though. I just can't.
He's horrible in it.
It's like 3 hours.
I didn't even know he was in the Elvis movie.
Yeah,
I have
he's
no
bad
desire
in
to
it.
see that.
It's just bad
At all.
casting. I mean, it's because you're watching it, you're going, that's Tom Hanks in a fat suit. You're not going, oh, that's this character. But the movie's incredible. It's really good.
Something happened in America, and I want Connor and Heavy Chevy to explain why it happened, along with Pat Egan.
Boston Tea Party?
I can take this segment off.
No. Because we're on the opposite sides of the fence from this, so we have to figure out what's happening and why it's happening.
They started taxing tea.
We're keeping you off our
Colonists
lawn.
didn't like it.
John Kincade Show. Coming up more on 97.5 The Fanatic.
to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
John Kincade Show on The Fanatic. Be sure to join us tomorrow. By this time tomorrow, God knows how many people are just going to be just blitzed out of their minds on St. Patty's Day. Having a traditional Irish breakfast.
No, they drink responsibly, John.
They have Uber, which is good.
Okay, then there's that.
$3 Bud Lights, $4 Bud Light seltzers, and more. The naughty girls are showing up.
Slutty bitches.
The naughty girls. NCAA tournament action afterwards, all sponsored by Bud Light. It's the Irish Horn, 882 2nd Street Pike in Richboro, Pennsylvania. What is that ticking sound in here? Oh, it's the chair. It's
this
Bob's chair.
Is so squeaked up, but it's the only one that gets to the height that I like.
That you like the height.
Yeah.
So it's well worth it.
I got to sit still, and as many people on YouTube tell me, I am a very fidgety person.
The weird thing is I don't think of you as fidgety.
They tell me, would you just sit still? What is wrong with you?
Really?
I am. It's hard for me to sit still. It's one of the reasons I have trouble watching movies, thinking I'm not going to be entertained or something like that. Yeah.
It gets to you there a little bit.
It does.
I'm going to need to hear from Connor and Heavy Chevy on this. And I don't know if Chevy can work the cameras where everybody can be seen, because I want to hear from both of them on this.
Put it on the wide view, Chevy.
I'm putting it to Pat. And something happened this past months, that has never happened before in the history of our country. How about this one for you?
Okay.
Never before. And it's an amazing milestone for an industry that people always says, radio's dead. Radio's dead.
I can concur.
Well, for the first, you can concur. Especially on payday?
Yeah.
Is that good? Sorry.
No comment.
Is that hit too close to home?
Yeah.
All right, well, this answer goes to you, and it goes to Connor, and it goes to Chevy, because you fall into the demographic. For the first time ever, more 18 to 49-year-olds in the third quarter of 2022, which is the first time they've released this analysis. More 18 to 49-year-olds listened to radio stations than watched broadcast TV stations. Now, Connor's nodding.
Yeah, I can see that.
Pat, take a first shot at this. 18 to 49-year-olds for the first time ever. So it was the period of July, August, September of last year. More 18 to 49-year-olds listened to broadcast radio stations, whether through an app, through streaming, or otherwise, listen to the radios, a specific station. Then we're watching Channel 6, Channel 10, Channel 3. Ever that this has happened. What is it?
Are we talking TV in the normal sense?
Yes,
or
it's
does
not
this include
like
streaming.
No, it does not include like Hulu.
Okay, then
it doesn't include
this
any
makes
of
perfect sense.
Okay.
Because this has been a trend going on for about a decade now, where the younger you get, the less likely you are to have a cable package. You'll have a streaming package.
Right.
You know, you'll share, all right, I'll give you Netflix, you give me HBO. But you're not the normal 3, 6, 10 Fox.
Right.
You don't really search that out. So this isn't surprising at all.
So you don't think this, well, it's the first time it's happened.
An indication that, that radio's doing great. I think it's just more of an indication of how bad TV is.
You're nodding, Connor.
Yeah.
Do you watch local TV broadcast networks?
If there's sports on them, but not outside of that. I'll ask Mike, though. Mike, what's your favorite show that's come out over the past, year?
Put your mic.
Besides that, we'll need his mic.
We need a mic on there.
Okay.
There you
well,
go.
John, what's your favorite show besides the soaps that you've watched?
And is it a new show?
Yeah, something that's come out over the past year. It's streaming.
Yes, absolutely.
Everything streaming. Every great show. The Last of Us, Outer Banks. Bob's been talking about, and Pat's
Yellowstone.
Yeah, it's all streaming. There's no major TV shows on actual TV anymore. There's just not. So
now I would say Abbott Elementary's huge.
Relatively to
it's got bigger audiences.
To The Last of Us.
It's got bigger audience than I guarantee it's got a bigger audience than that.
But the people watching that are the 60-year-old Midwest who knows what they're doing.
I don't think that's the audience for that.
No, you guys are wrong on that. But to the point of the argument, it's on Hulu. When I watch Abbott
that
Elementary,
is too.
you
watch it on Hulu. You don't watch it over a broadcast network.
And I'm not 60, guys.
Exactly.
I'm not old.
Like 55?
By the way,
It's getting there.
He's 12.
He is 12. So your favorite show,
I'm going to shut your mic back
Chevy,
off,
now that you have a
jackass.
mic, your favorite show, though, is John Kincade Show? Is that
Yeah, it's a John Kincade show.
That's a good
I
call.
love this show.
Do you go and rewatch it?
Every day, I rewatch it.
Which is great.
On YouTube.
Yeah, but like I turn on the radio all the time. Like I put on some of our other stations in the cluster. Jam out to the honky tonk stuff over there down the dial. I listen to this station. John, you're listening to this station constantly on the radio.
Absolutely.
True.
If I'm in my car, I'm always listening.
Yeah.
I'm always listening because I am not if I'm driving long distance, I'm music.
Mhm.
If I'm commuting, I am talk radio listening to this station.
But you have the radio on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There you
But
go.
I will have my own playlist going if I've got to drive to the shore.
Right.
It's my own music on my own playlist.
Yeah, but sometimes you just surf through the channels and find something. If you get into like a
Oh,
state,
see, I
you don't know
never
and
do
you're
that for music.
No.
Never.
Okay. I
You
do.
don't try surfing the
No.
no?
I don't surf. Bob, do you ever surf looking for radio stations? Or do you stream
No.
your own music? Like you're some mornings I can tell Bob will show up and the music will be blaring.
Yeah, so my old car, I had Sirius. This one, I don't have Sirius. So I'm really set on two stations. If I want music, I listen to Matt Cord. And when I want to listen, all the other times, it's here. And
See?
that's pretty much it.
It is.
And Donna's just sent me a text. She makes a great point. None of our kids have regular TV. All of them have streaming TVs.
Yeah.
So it's all streaming.
All of them. So we're talking 4 kids, 4 different rooms, all streaming.
I'm like the only person in my friend group that has an actual cable box.
Okay,
and
there-
doesn't stream.
There's one. Liv has a wing in her dormitory.
Mhm.
I'd say that there's probably 10 rooms on one side, 10 on the other.
Okay, 20 rooms.
One television. One.
That's it?
Only one of the dorm rooms has a TV in
What are
it.
they watching on tablets and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
on
watching
their
on
phones?
tablets.
Wow.
Or they have these projectors. Have you seen these?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen that.
They
That's
watch
pretty
things
cool.
on projectors. They watch, when they binge stuff, they'll literally pile into a room, have 7 or 8 of them,
Yeah, hook up the phone or the laptop to the projector, play it through that.
and they
on
watch
the
it
wall.
through that.
Yeah.
That seems complicated to me. Why wouldn't you just have a damn TV is what I said.
Nah, it's cheaper.
Yeah, too expensive.
I said, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's cheap.
TVs are cheap.
Need money for the booze.
You see,
Yeah, the light beams are
Need
cheaper.
the
you mean they're
Yes.
drinking? You mean they're drinking
Oh,
while they're
well, they
watching
might
it?
be. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
like-
know if Liv is, but
High C.
Yes. Oh,
Sunny
I do.
Delight.
No, what's
Can you
that? What are
sneak it
those
in the
fancy?
dorms?
What are those fancy? The fancy
LaCroix.
Trulies.
Um,
High Noons.
yeah.
Oh, that's the new
No,
thing.
those are actually alcoholic. I was naming orange
Oh
juice
no.
brands.
Oh, no. The High Noons are
Perrier.
they're the new big deal.
They're not drinking in college these days, John. Don't worry about it.
Okay, good. That's good.
It's
Good job,
the drugs
boys.
that gets them.
Jeez.
Hey, then, good job, boys.
Thanks.
Keep it on. 9 o'clock hour, the John Kincade Show is brought to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. And for details, go to Bagster.com. Gotta love it. 9 o'clock hour begins. And look, craziness happened yesterday. And I think it was flat out crazy. The way that everything went down. Now, and Bob, I can't help it. And maybe it's just the budgeter in me who budgets. While you fidget, I budget. I love to know where money's going, how money's being allotted. I am fascinated to figure out how Howie Roseman worked his way out of this straitjacket. And as Pat pointed out, this is a straitjacket that he created. This was his creation. But it appears, once again, he's done a Houdini act. As Darius Slay's coming back, you already got Bradbury locked up. Now Fletcher Cox comes back at $10 million a year, and we're still waiting to find out what happens today with C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
When it happens today.
So you say when?
Pat put it at 30% yesterday. He and I still think he's coming back. I've kind of been riding that ship all week. Pat, you said it grew a little bit, but we didn't get a percentage from you.
I would put now 57%.
57.
Oh, and
Yes.
what's yours, Sean? Your take on this is he is or is not coming back?
I'm going 45%.
Okay.
I'm anxious because something changed between 10:30 in the morning, 11 in the morning, and 10:30 at night when the word came out. And I wonder if it's because of the fact that Well, the money showed up to be able to do it because of the fact that C.J. Gardner-Johnson's not coming back. I hope that's not the case. Because to me, if you say it to me, here's what I want. I wanted, once Bradbury was signed, the priority to me above anything was C.J. Gardner-Johnson. It wasn't getting Fletcher Cox back. It wasn't getting Darius Slay back. And I respect both of those guys. Fletcher Cox for his career, Darius Slay because he's been outstanding. Even though he did stumble a bit last year, he still is. I feel much more comfortable knowing my corners are back. But my priority was getting C.J. Gardner-Johnson at 25, just entering his prime and playing at a high level.
You may have gotten all of that.
We may have. But if we find out today that we didn't, how do you feel about what went down yesterday? Because we have to discuss this logically. There's a good chance that it's not being done, because if it was so easy to get done, we'd already know it. As Adam Schefter said, if you don't have a deal on Wednesday, like something's up. You didn't find the money you wanted, or you're still poking around, and the Cincinnati Bengals are supposedly we're in pursuit of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Because they're trying to...
Well, let's look at it this way. Do you think Howie did all these crazy things not to have the money to sign C.J., or did he do all these crazy things just to keep who he did?
Well, he needed the money to keep Slay, and he needed the money to keep Fletcher Cox.
So he's going to redo Slay.
I would imagine that is absolutely the case.
Yeah, that's going to get redone.
So that cap number becomes something totally different.
Right. The Fletcher Cox, we'll find out what the $10 million is going against the cap. It could be, he gets $9 million guaranteed and one goes against it's going to be something crazy. So I would say that he did all these things the way he did them, the way we're praising him for what he did. I think he did all this stuff in order to keep C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Well, here's one thing. And Joel Corey, the ex-agent, the capologist for CBS Sports, he had a piece, and he wrote it weeks ago, that coming up on March 15th, there was a 10-day window for the Philadelphia Eagles to pick up options in wide receiver A.J. Brown and edge rusher Hassan Reddick's contract. With Brown, if they would stroke him a $10.17 million payment, it would reduce his base salary from $11.25 million to a fully guaranteed $1 million, little over $1 million. And the same thing, if he would stroke a $15 million check to Hassan Reddick, that would then make his salary for this year a fully guaranteed $1.08 million. Is it possible, Pat, that we could have Hassan Reddick and A.J. Brown in their fully guaranteed $2.16 million?
It is possible.
If I'm telling you this, if Howie did this, and Coach talked to it earlier, this is working the cap crazily, because if you read the Joel Corey piece, by the way, you can go to it, CBS Sports. I'm fascinated because I'm not seeing a bunch of other teams with these sort of crazy deals lined up.
What's genius about this deal more than anything is the fact that he gave it to proven guys. So he gives it to Hassan Reddick and he gives it to A.J. Brown.
When they signed their contract,
you know A.J. Brown's a stud. So you gave it knowing full well that you were going to be picking up this contract. Like, you were going to be doing this. And he did it with Hassan Reddick, who had proven with two different teams, two different coordinators, that he was that guy. So he's not doing it with question marks. He's doing it with the proven commodities, which I think is even more genius.
It is pretty incredible. I mean, when you look, I still can't figure out the mastery of it, because I'm looking and saying, okay, show me where I'm scrolling through his piece. And it's like, because he literally breaks it down by day.
Right.
That he studied contracts around the NFL. There's not a lot of other teams that he has that these kind of things are out there. And again, I say to you, one of the things I always loved in my business career is trying to find out best practices of, like, the top salesman, the top region that was working in my company. What were they doing that nobody else was doing? What were the best practices? Howie Roseman's not being copied.
No,
how can this be?
I mean, the simplest thing, a dummy like me on Monday said, okay, here's something he has to do. And I have it written right here. Restructure Lane Johnson's contract, extend and restructure Slay. in order to get the money for CJGJ. It looks like that's going to be one of the last things he does because he's going to restructure Slay. We know that.
Right.
If he can restructure Lane Johnson, that's $31 million they had against the cap. If he can do all that and use that to sign CJGJ, all these difficult things that he did that I quite realistically don't understand. The most logical of them was the last thing that he's going to do to get CJGJ and bring him back.
And you think that would be is the restructure of Lane Johnson?
I think Lane Johnson's going to have to get restructured, and he's already doing something with Slay. He's doing some magic with Slay stuff.
Is that what you...
Woo!
So let me ask you.
I hope you grab that.
It's like stuff that we don't understand.
Woo.
Do you think that there is a chance tomorrow?
We're talking about having pints.
That we're toasting to Howie because CJ is back.
Oh, do I
Because
think there's a chance? Yes.
Of Slay's contract came out. I'll say a good chance. Because I think there's a very good chance that
we'll be toasting him tomorrow.
Howie, that tomorrow morning
this time.
The more that I talk about it, the more like my percentage goes up. I'm now at 63%.
Coach, I'm asking permission. Should Howie Roseman sign CJGJ today, are we allowed to toast on air tomorrow morning from the Irish Horn in Richboro, Pennsylvania?
No, not for him.
Dude,
what? Seriously?
No. Nice job, Bobby.
Howie Roseman, I think Howie Roseman, too, which is strange you left him out of the game. I think born in Ireland.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Coach, we can't toast him for job well done?
Come on.
What are you toasting?
What do you mean? What are we
We're
toasting?
toasting a great performance.
What alcohol are you toasting?
We're using Bud Light, of course.
We just said
because Bud Light is our fine sponsor.
All right.
See, there you go. All right, there we go.
Why are you against
Grab that audio.
See, this is where,
now?
Coach, I'm going to make the error on I refuse to not support our clients.
Now, let me ask you, Coach.
Yeah.
If Howie Roseman does not extend C.J. Gardner-Johnson by tomorrow, can we drink to forget?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You know, a little
wipe out the
Bud
sadness
Light to make us feel a little bit better about the situation.
Now, you know how I feel about drinking on the air while we're working.
Yes.
Well, then can we take our pants off on the air?
Yeah, you can take your pants off.
Yeah, pants off is cool.
drink.
Drinking is not.
Yeah.
Torn has just said they were closed.
Let's
tomorrow.
do both tomorrow, Coach.
Yeah,
let's take our pants off and get drunk.
It could be a big day.
Let's find out what happens. Huh?
It's going to be a big day tomorrow.
You got a little Irish in you? We'll find out tomorrow.
It'll be a nice.
You really are Irish.
It's going to be a nice day too, to be able to see this.
Irish curse, cool.
Pat's got it.
Oh,
He's got the.
Oh, we're having fun.
He's got it going. Yeah, it's all fun while we wait. Now, Bob's not in the least bit anxious. I am absolutely anxious over waiting to see what Howie does. I can't wait to see what the next move is because another shoe has to drop. $25 million, I'm assuming, was paid out to $15 million to Reddick, $10 million to A.J. Brown. I'm assuming that Jeffrey Lurie, and again, this is where Jeffrey Lurie is a spectacular owner.
You were going to curse.
I wanted to say freaking, but I don't like to use that, is to be able to say he wrote $25 million in checks, I would believe, to give them the flexibility that got them Fletcher Cox and allows them to extend out.
It's all good, John. It doesn't matter where it comes from as long as they come back. That's all that matters.
Oh, it's all good if I get C.J. Gardner-Johnson back here.
So if he doesn't get back here, it's a failure of an offseason?
No,
or
it's not
the free agent period, rather, I should say?
Oh, no. It would go from being good to being great.
Okay.
This is just good to great.
Okay.
But to me, I wanted, once Bradbury was back, I was firmly in, I want CJ. If it means Darius Slay leaving, sorry to see you go. But I think there's been, and I don't want to say slander, but yes, Darius Slay, the numbers don't look good on Darius Slay. I still think Darius Slay's top 12 corner in football, something like that.
He graded out a top 5.
He didn't look top 5 down the stretch.
He did not.
But he is. But I'll go to battle with a guy like Darius Slay and take my chances as long as I'm not paying him till he's 36.
Yeah.
I'll be fine with that. And
I don't care.
You don't give a damn.
I don't
You're
care.
like, there you
if
go.
they give him a contract that says, we're paying you till you're 36,
You're figuring that
he's not going to play here after 34, 35. So, yeah, you just can't at that position. You can't be running all over the field on every play at 34, 35 with effectiveness that he has last year and hopefully this year. But I don't care. If that's how you have to do his contract in order to free money and stay where you want to be and bring back CJ, good. Whatever. I don't care. Just get the best players on the field. And the best safety you can get on the field right now for your Philadelphia Eagles is CJ Gardner-Johnson. Get it done. I don't care if you're paying Lane Johnson until he's 73 years old. I don't care.
I have a feeling Lane Johnson could still pass protect at 73.
He might.
He may be able to do that if necessary. Hopefully it's not. I can't wait. I'm absolutely fascinated. And the fact that Howie Roseman, and we heard it from Thomas Dimitroff when he joined us at the Super Bowl, ex-Falcons GM and now the scouting guru. He says flat out, Howie is next level. Howie is sort of one step above his peers when it comes to managing the salary cap, and he's showing it again. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
I'm sorry.
You go.
I was more impressed with the fact that he kind of admitted, and I'm talking about Thomas Dimitroff, he kind of admitted, he pretty much wins every trade, but he's just that guy that
and people still trade with him.
Pick up the phone, and it's weird, man. You don't even realize that this dude is taking advantage of you.
I think he hypnotizes people.
He reminds me a little bit of Russell Brand in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It's like, crap, you're cool. I kind of have to like you. And it's all of a sudden he's got a way with words. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is hypnotizing, but he makes you forget about the fact that he took advantage of you 15 straight trades in a row. And you're like, yeah, all right, a 5th round pick for this guy. Why not? Like, it's crazy because he does seem to have that personality type. I don't know what it is where guys don't mind trading for him or trading with him, and guys love playing for him.
It's the mastery of the cap that I don't understand that other people haven't figured out how to copy. I can't figure it out. Why other people wouldn't be going, okay, see what Howie Roseman's doing? Do what he does. Have the vision to do what he does. Follow what he does. Let's study his last 5 years and everything he did with his cap and then figure out, okay, we can start doing that. We can implement it. But nobody seems to be doing it.
Howie's like steroids, like players taking steroids. They're always a step ahead of the testing to find out if they have steroids in their system. So Howie's that. He's always a step ahead before everybody figures out what he did last time.
You want to share your thoughts on the Eagles' moves and what could be coming? You can at 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. It's the final stretch of the John Kincade Show, presented by Stretch Zone. Your body deserves a good stretch, and at Stretch Zone, you're going to get a great stretch. Book your free 30-minute stretch session today at StretchZone.com. More Eagles and some Sixers talk, too, coming your way. And Cuz and Chunas will be live at Parks Casino later today. Don't miss it. 97.5 The Fanatic. If your energy costs have been rising, Hey, when someone gets hurt, we know who to call, but what about a mental health crisis like it sounds when I'm singing along with this? The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers free confidential support around the clock. Don't hesitate. Call 988. One of the better goal songs, though, Pat. That was
Did you
always
completely miss that Connor edited you into this?
Well, I think I've done this one before, though, on the air.
Okay.
I've done it before.
I thought it was some of Connor's best work, and you guys just were like, yeah, whatever. Blur.
I honestly thought John was doing that live.
You thought it was live? Because I've done it before on that song. That was the
let me play it again for you so you can actually hear, so we can appreciate what Connor does back there.
Hey, Connor.
That's me from the last segment.
Yeah, it's one of you two.
It's me. Yeah, it's
that's
when
Bob.
I was doing the Magic. Woo! What Howie does. Woo!
That's the Thrashers goal song, Pat.
Oh, so they didn't play it very much.
That it didn't get played nearly
enough. If was out, they never played it.
Danny Heatley.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, it was really great, Tilly. Yeah, until that. Not an accident.
Well, you know what I mean.
When you're doing 85 and a 35, it's not an accident. It's called being a dope. Absolute dope. So Bob's doing a little magic. He had the jazz hands going last segment too, which you really don't see out of Bob often.
No, that's what Howie brings out in me today. I was like, woo, look at him.
But it's the first day of the NCAA tournament, so maybe that's it too.
Could be. I got to ask you guys, what was your reaction? Two things. Yesterday, when you saw the news that they were releasing Slay.
I was not shocked because I thought it was happening. I said, like I said in the show yesterday, I didn't understand how they could keep him.
So yours was just okay.
No, I felt like it was the closing of a door that I didn't want to see closed. As far as I loved Darius Slay, we loved getting to meet his wife, and she hanging out with the Fanatic event and everything. Fantastic lady, but I wasn't. I expected it to happen, so I was already in my head going, "Okay, it's happening." I had already dealt with the grief.
I out loud said, "Ooh, wow." Pat, what was yours?
What the bleep?
Really?
Yeah, I
biggest.
never expected them to move on and pick James Bradbury over Darius Slay. Even though James Bradbury's younger, I think Darius Slay is better.
3 seasons.
And I also didn't understand the logic of cutting him now. Immediately I went, wait, that makes no sense. You're saving like $4 million, and then it started to trickle out of, okay, it'll be post June 1st, which made the most sense. You're saving like 17, but even then, you're saving 17, but you had to pay James Bradbury, so the savings and stuff, it just, the logic of it really didn't fit with me, so I was shocked.
Okay.
I never thought it would get to that point.
I can't believe it still.
So then as the day went on, I'm sure we were all kind of thinking, all right, what does this mean? Much like you just said, Pat, I told you and I showed you that I texted with a buddy and said, he's coming back. And us agreeing that somehow the Eagles were going to work Slay coming back. I didn't know the news until I got up this morning.
I didn't know I got up this morning either. I went right
so
after
what was your reaction when you saw that?
My jaw dropped. Like, I was like, what's going on here? But immediately my first thought was Gardner Johnson's gone. That was my first thought was, wait a minute, the money tree, where did it come from? And why did it change? Uh-oh.
Now,
then they used the money for that. That's where my first thought was, because I've been waiting for C.J. Gardner Johnson, waiting to see this thing happen and hoping it happens sometime soon. So we'll see if we'll see.
I have to check out some news here. So
okay, we'll see what kind of
somebody might be putting out a. Somebody put something on our Twitter page about C.J. Gardner Johnson, but I'm not seeing it on Twitter, so I can't.
Yeah, if we can't
look for it.
Yes. No, I got it. It's not true. So no news yet. Mine wasn't that. Mine didn't go right to C.J. Gardner Johnson, but when it did, and it wasn't much longer, I thought, oh, he's working magic. He's bringing him back. So then I thought of a movie scene. And I was screaming Howie's name. What movie scene am I talking about?
You were thinking about Goodfellas when he was banging on I thought the same thing.
Yep. Really?
I swear to God, when I saw that he was coming back, I immediately thought of that
Jimmy!
scene.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought of this morning before I got in the shower was that scene.
The smile on your face, and I can't see Pat's face, but
I'm smiling. Look
you're
down.
smiling. Okay. The smile on your face, does that change if we find out C.J. Gardner-Johnson's a Bengal later this morning?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, your smile goes down. Yeah, but as you said, it goes from being a good free agency a great free agency period if he comes back here.
If he comes back,
to what,
it's
just
great.
a good?
Right. No, it's a good one. If he gets that, it's good. If he gets C.J. Gardner-Johnson, it's great. And it may be the greatest high wire act that the NFL's ever seen as far as an executive.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, there's no news on C.J. Gardner-Johnson, no.
Yeah, let's see it on that. Okay. Kevin Stoltzfus sends an email in. What's up, Kevin? I've seen the Stoltzfus name around.
It's
somewhere in Chester County.
Very popular. Yeah,
in the
very
Amish.
popular name in the Amish community.
But even in Chester County, there's some business that has it. I've seen that. I don't know if it's Kevin's. He says, I'm going to be honest. How Howie's able to pull this stuff off has me baffled. And I'm also wondering, do other GMs not play under the same rules and guidelines? It seems like he's almost cheating the system. By the way, I love that. Yeah, yes, Kevin, we all love it. We absolutely love it. It's pretty amazing to be able to have that. It is, but it's the biggest part of this whole thing that's the mystery to me. I still can't figure it out. And yes, it bothers me that I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I am so on the other side as you that I don't care. It's not my money. I don't care how they do it. I don't care if Howie's playing by the rules or not.
Oh, I don't care about that. I hope he cheats the whole system.
I care about the 22 on the field. And if he's getting the who I consider the best fit for safety right now for the Eagles, if he's getting him back, I don't care if he's kicking cans down the lane or, whatever, paying people until they're 60. I don't care.
One of the things here, he goes, Daryl Morey always gets applauded for being a great executive. He signs two guys that are sort of fill-in players, and we lose draft picks because he cheats the system. Howie Roseman brings back star players and somehow is getting away with it all. Does he have to sit with Daryl and have a pint tomorrow at the Irish Horn to tell him how to work the system?
Maybe. We can invite them both, right?
We invite them both. They'd have a great time, and do that. So, and the question I have, too, is, and a couple people doing the math for me here, the guaranteed money for they're paying Fletcher Cox could have gotten you both starting linebackers. And yes, I would have chosen that. And I would have gone with another defensive tackle in the draft, high in the draft.
Yeah, I don't know if doing two contracts and what all that entails is as easy as saying, oh, yeah, here, I have $10 million to spend, so here you go. I can get you both done.
Well, considering what he does with that, they could have both players on the roster this year for the amount of money, for that money. And now, and how he's worked everything else out that we can figure it out. It's just, this is incredible to me. So how this is all, how it's all come together, it's pretty incredible.
I thought there's a Sean Bradley, who we don't consider much when we're talking about linebackers, very good special teamer, a Temple guy, as you very well know,
Sean.
John. Put a tweet out there last night like, don't fall asleep on me, man. I'm bringing it next year, and you'll see. So he's throwing himself out there like, we're fine. Maybe the Eagles do like Bradley a little bit there to get some more playing time. Obviously, they're going to throw in Nakobe Dean, and he's going to be a starter come hell or high water, it looks like. So,
well, they believe it. It's obvious that one thing, they've doubled down on their belief that Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis are going to be contributors next year in a huge way. Not a little way.
Yeah.
I mean, Nakobe Dean's got to be playing 35, 40 snaps. And Jordan Davis has got to be playing 28 to 32 snaps, something like that. Something in that range. It's all coming together. Pat has so many ideas for us. And I asked Pat yesterday, I said, there's so many things that he brings up that we should maybe check out on television or stuff that's streaming. And I asked him to get under the hood a little bit and share with us some of the things maybe you aren't watching.
Hi.
Love it. I watch Price is Right sometimes.
First thing I'll point out is the show Price is Right.
It's great. We watch it.
It's a game show.
Yes.
And it's very popular. These are a few things that you might not have heard of that you can find out there. This spurning off of what we were talking about yesterday with the Where's My Jet docuseries on Netflix about the kid who saw a commercial for Pepsi, and they were promoting a Harrier jet for a certain amount of Pepsi points, and he got the allotted amount, and he wanted his jet, and they were like, dude, it's a joke, and he's like, I don't care, I want my jet. You put it in the commercial, you didn't put a disclaimer. So that's 4 parts. It's on Netflix. You can watch that.
Netflix, and that is Dude, Where's My Jet?
Yeah, it's called like Where's My Jet. If you just type in jet in Netflix, you'll find it pretty easily.
Okay.
So the first thing I'll talk about is a documentary that was actually suggested to me by Anthony Gargano.
Okay.
And it's called Sour Grapes. So this is available on Freevee, which we were actually talking about yesterday in our post-show meeting. Freevee is available if you have Amazon Fire TV, Fire Stick, whatever. Sour Grapes goes into the world of counterfeit wine, and it's fascinating about how these pretentious D-bags got scammed by basically one guy who was making toilet wine in his apartment and saying, oh, hey, I found this 1865 bottle of blah, blah, blah. And there's one particular guy who is so snobby, and he ran in the same circles as this counterfeiter, and he very arrogantly says, oh, you know, this was I can forget the guy's name. This was Steve's wine, but this is actually the real stuff. And he, pours it, and the guy's like, dude, this is trash.
That's incredible.
Like, you got burned. You got burned for millions of dollars. This is trash wine. But it's interesting of how this no-name dude just infiltrated this niche community and scammed all these Hollywood types into buying, piss wine.
Okay, that's amazing.
So it's called Sour Grapes. It's available on Freevee. The next one I'll talk about is a movie, a quasi-documentary called American Animals. It was my number one movie in, I think, 2017.
Okay.
The year it came out.
Where do I find it?
So this is available on Amazon Prime. If you look for that on Amazon Prime, you should be able to find it. And it is kind of similar of the Sour Grapes. It is a true story about these 4 college kids in Kentucky who found out that their school library had very rare books. And they decided to break in, steal the books, and try to sell them on the black market. What makes this movie so good is they actually are interviewing the real people as it's going on, and then you're seeing actors act it out. So it stars Evan Peters, who was in Mayor of Easttown. He played the boyfriend of hers. And then Barry Keogh, who was nominated for an Oscar for Banshees of Inisherin. Really good, though. I couldn't suggest this movie enough. It's incredible.
I got to see that. I like that.
And as I said, it was like I saw 100+ movies that year. It was the number one movie I had. All right, the next one is Tickled. Gentlemen, we talk about sports all the time, but you know what the one sport we don't talk about? The sport of competitive tickling.
What?
Yeah, we don't break that down.
Tickling.
It's real. So there's a documentarian in New Zealand who found these videos of the world of competitive tickling on like YouTube, and he's like, "This is kind of funny because it's it's clearly going to a niche audience." So he reached out to the company behind this, and the response that he got was so vitriolic that he's like, I got to dig more into this company and find out. And he actually got to the underbelly of competitive tickling. And I swear to God, there is an underbelly. Okay. And while this sounds super weird, if you watch everybody I've ever shown the trailer to, they're like, all right, that does look good. So it's called Tickled. It's available on Roku. It's available on Tubi. Tubi was the commercial during the Super Bowl that everyone hated. It's incredible. And it really is a dark, dark documentary that you did not expect to go down that road.
It's not like a kinky sex tickling.
It's like there's not in the sense of like you're not seeing anything, but they're interviewing the people that got roped in. But it's trying to figure out who the hell is behind this.
It's crazy
because of their response to this guy. It was weird. And then the last one I'll talk about is the docuseries on Netflix called Losers, and this is about an 8-part docuseries that I've never actually heard anyone in sports talk about, but it's a sports docuseries, and it goes into people that lost. And it goes into how they lost, and it's different stories. It's one guy's a boxer who fought Tyson, but another guy is a competitive runner who did this long-distance run in Egypt. And
how do you run in the sand?
And that was the thing. And he almost died. And it's really fascinating. It goes into how these people would be considered losers, but their story behind it. And a lot of the stories are really, really fascinating and scary, too. Like, there's scary situations they were put in. So that's on Netflix, Losers. So
there you go.
To recap, Sour Grapes is on Freevee, American Animals, Amazon Prime. Tickled is on Roku and Tubi, and then Losers is on Netflix.
You got to do this again like next week or so, because that's great, because I just wrote all those down. There's some fun stuff to watch. I don't know that I'll do the tickled, but
that's the thing.
but I might.
Everybody that I bring up tickled to has the same reaction to it, and I understand why. That's why I implore you to at least go check out the trailer for it, and it will sell you on it.
I can tell you that there's a maybe you know the answer to this. There's a documentary that a bunch of people have told me about where the people who've blown their money that they won in the lottery.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but
see if you can find that one for another week.
Yes.
That supposedly it's the most pathetic stories you've ever heard of just complete ignorance.
Yeah, the one guy, I mean, he was buying like 300 pairs of pants of the same pair.
Pair of pants.
He went completely broke. And yeah, his nephews who had to take care of him were like, well, they say about the lottery, you can't win if you don't play. Well, I don't want to win. It's like, all right, bud, because your uncle was horrible with money, now you don't want to win millions of dollars.
It was so stupid.
It went into both sides of it. It went into the people that won and how they handled it, because some states obviously make that public, and how they were all of a sudden inundated with people that wanted help. And then it goes into people that, and they some of those handled their money wisely, and then other people didn't.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that one too.
I'll try to find out.
That's an incredible one, because I've heard it's just amazing. That Millionaires or something. It's called like Millionaires.
Yeah, I'll look. Maybe I'll do that one for the next time we do this.
That's good. Good job. Irish Horn tomorrow. 882 2nd Street Pike in Richboro, Pennsylvania. Bud Light's having us out there, and the Irish Horn. Boy, did they do a great job up there.
Oh, it's fun there.
That was so much fun last year.
Yeah, I was just talking to some of our salespeople that are going to be there with us tomorrow, hanging out.
And they're all
imagine that.
And they're all big day drinkers.
Yeah, that's say. Imagine that. Like if we do a broadcast at
a church. A church.
All of a
We're
sudden,
not seeing any of our salespeople.
We might have one person stop by. Like when we did our Rally House broadcast, we had Max stop by.
Max stopped by.
Max was the only one. We go out to a bar, and all of a sudden, all the salespeople are like, "Oh, well, I want to go support the team."
So I had a boss come up and tell me, "Don't listen to Coach about the having a toast on the air tomorrow."
A toast, yes.
I told Coach that this happened. He goes, "Bob, I don't believe you. You're not telling
Coach should not be a distraction."
I was like, "Dude, why would I lie to you? I'm not lying."
Why would he say something that wasn't true?
Why do you think I am lying, Coach?
I thought you were just pulling my leg.
He's asking you, Sugar, would he lie to you? I mean, seriously.
I don't get that one, John. I'm sorry.
That's weird, man.
Would I lie to you?
I could see the look in your eye of like you're hoping to God that I don't.
You don't know that song?
No.
Would I lie to you?
It's the Eurythmics.
Just say yes so we would move on. But you say no, so we'll sing it again to you.
This is coming from a guy who was talking about General Hospital for 8 minutes yesterday, and you have the audacity to come with me? Who the hell are you? I am.
Donna actually pulled me aside. She goes, that was pretty funny when you were talking to Kincade about General Hospital
there it is.
yesterday.
And by the way, there's lots of realistic things happening.
Oh, get the hell out of here.
Tonight it'll be down on the docks.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be down on the docks.
Okay, you're going to go there.
And we're
You're
going to
compare Springsteen to General Hospital?
No, it's just
is that what we're doing?
I'm the everyman. Going to have that tonight. I mean, Philadelphia sports. Nothing
in South Philly.
Nothing.
I don't care if you like it or not.
Nothing's going to be covered. Nothing in Philly sports better break tonight.
They've got 30 years of love. Bobby and Donna are here.
It might get a song. We might get a song dedicated to us tonight.
He's going to have, look, tonight's going to be, if anything breaks on the C.J. Gardner-Johnson story, John Clark's out on it. It'll be the one story where John Clark doesn't have video, doesn't have anything.
He'll be crushed if he has to head to the airport.
Seriously, can you imagine?
If the bat phone goes off and it says, oh, someone's coming in on a plane.
Can you imagine poor John Clark?
I wonder if he's ever gotten pranked with that.
Well,
like
somebody
in a situation
at a
like this where they
Springsteen
know
concert?
that he's going to be, I have tickets, and all of a sudden he gets the tip.
Well, from reading sports sections in this town, it seems like the sports departments probably have to have like the community affairs writer come in and cover things tonight.
There's backups. There's younger kids that, can go do what they want.
They can bring them in and say, please do it tonight. Should be a good one. And the weather's going to be nice.
Yeah. It's supposed to go up to like 60 and sunny, and it might be
tailgating will be going on.
Oh yeah, there's some tailgating. Got to pick up some hoagies on the way home today, and pack the cooler and meet up with Mike and Diane and
a little ditty.
No, they don't know
about Mike and Diane.
No, that was Jack. But no, just gonna hang out and have fun.
It was sitting there. I thought of it as well.
Yeah,
and
if anything
Bob,
breaks,
you had to know that
I did.
When you said it.
I did.
It was coming out.
Yeah. But,
if anything
I'm
breaks.
not going to lie.
It's you're not going to get it till 11:45 p.m.
No, it's funny. Like you can look at your phone during.
No, you can't.
Other things.
It's a religious experience.
It's going to be C.J. Gardner Johnson.
You're at church.
Can you imagine?
You're going to church today.
Now, what I do sometimes do when I'm at a Springsteen concert is write down the songs in my notes on my phone that he plays in order.
You know, there's websites that do that.
Wait a minute.
I said I used to do this.
Okay, why did you do that?
I don't know, just to see what songs that he sung that I saw that I, whatever. I don't know.
I'm not going to rip you for that.
No, I just don't. No, I just don't understand the
See how
mentality.
many
I'm trying to figure it out, like what it was.
Yeah,
like a normal concert's about 2 hours long.
His
right?
is like 3 usually.
Yeah, he's 73 now, so he's only going for about 250 now.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, but
slacker.
But like our sister station where that guy Matt Cord works, the guy that announced
Love Matty Cord.
Love him.
They're playing a Springsteen concert from 2016 that I was at Citizens Bank Park that went for 4 hours and 4 minutes.
So they're playing it today?
They're playing it tonight from like
they're
7
playing
to
it
11
tonight.
or something. But people won't be listening to that because they'll be listening to Devon on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Yes. But wait a minute, though. Devon may be the only person in sports in Philly that's working.
He'll break the news.
So he'll break the news.
Yeah.
There's websites so you can like find the set list because a couple years ago,
shut up.
I went to go see. Sorry, Bob. I went to go see Incubus, and I'm not the biggest Incubus fan. I kind of want to there's like probably 5 or 6 songs I really like of theirs.
Right.
And I wanted to know, all right, like how much longer? Because it was like a work night, and I ended up getting free tickets from, I think, one of the stations here.
Right.
So I didn't really care about staying the full time and seeing an encore. So I looked up the set list and was like, all right, 6 songs in. I wanted to see the opening band more than Incubus.
Okay.
The idea of I don't the reason I ask about that is the idea is that I find I try to when I'm at one of those events or something is I try to have the phone in the pocket. So it's not I'm not there videotaping.
No, I don't
not
do that,
there
no.
like doing that. Kids, if you ever go to your kids' events, and now these younger parents, it's even more. We'd be at a school event, and I'd see 50 parents with their phones up as like kids are performing and stuff, and it's not even their kid, and they're videotaping. I'm like, why don't you just be present? Why don't you just be there and enjoy the event? Like I don't get it. Somebody is taping the event that you could get a copy. Somebody is going to have a copy of the event. I don't understand the idea of not being present.
Yeah, I'm not big on that. Like, for example, Kyle, his senior year of high school, 2017, playing basketball. And I remember going to Sixers practice one day, and we were talking about it, and Brett Brown goes, how do you record them? Do you do it on your phone, or do you have an iPad or whatever? And I'm like, I don't.
No, you watch him play.
No, I'm not putting anybody down. I mean, I know a lot
it's
of
not. You just don't understand it.
His point being, well, you kind of know basketball a little bit. You also played at that program. I would think that you would want to tape them and then sit down and talk to them about the game. Everybody's different. I'm not putting down anybody that records and talks. But Kyle, to me, wasn't one of those kids that wanted to sit down with me and have me construct his basketball game.
More importantly, though, wouldn't the program have a copy of the video of the game?
Probably.
But I would think everybody would have that.
My point is, I'm not big into watch. Like, I saw it. That's my memory. I don't need a tape of it or whatever. Like, I have the memories, and that's just who I am. And sometimes I fault myself in that, and that I didn't record maybe some more.
Coach, do they have, like, Cam's games? Are they videotaped where the parents can have access to them?
Yeah, so the new, it's not new, but over the past few years, they have, I can't remember the name of the camera, but they put this camera that looks like a flying saucer up on this tripod. And the camera does 180 recording. I don't think it does 360, but it might. And you can access whatever soccer club that you're on. You can access the entire game. And it's for coaching mostly. But for parents that either can't make it, they can watch the game live, or they can always download it afterwards and watch their kid play. It's really, really cool.
Hey, see, that's really awesome.
Yeah, we have that for every rink I play at. There's a company called Live Barn.
Okay.
And you can subscribe, and you have access to all the rinks, and you can watch your kid play. Or if you're a crappy men's league hockey player, you could You could take the one goal.
But you're not because you stood in goal last night.
I'm not paying for it.
But you stood in goal last night.
I got shelled.
And you did something where your teammates needed you to do something, and you did it. You selflessly did something.
I think the teammates could have had me not stand in goal, and it would have been the same result. It would have been 2 goals on 2 shots.
I was just disappointed that my spies delivered the report, and you mentioned it first.
Yeah, it happened. I mean, I'm blown away that somebody's emailing you scouting reports of my crappy men's league hockey career.
Who says they're emailing me? They may be
they called you? They texted you?
They may be texting me.
They wrote you a letter?
Maybe texting.
Wow.
Maybe sexting. You don't know who it is.
Now we're getting weird.
See, now
we're getting weird.
All right, did you see by the way, on the news, the robots at Lowe's now?
No, I haven't seen any of them live or on the news.
The robots, they now have robots. I always say, have you ever gone, Pat, Bob has never seen this. My local Giant in Exton has a robot that walks around up and down the aisles. Like it rolls around.
No.
But it's like a Price robot or something, and it goes up and down the aisles and stuff like this. No. And it's probably around 4 foot tall. Now Lowe's, I believe it's Port Richmond. I'm trying to remember the report I saw. Port Richmond, Northeast Philly, and whatever. Lowe's is deploying these robots. They're 5 foot tall. So, Pat,
great.
You're going to be in a struggle. And it's got 360 vision. It is constantly creating video in all directions and also can report to a security office.
Yeah, we got to stop that.
It is patrols any behavior in the front of the store. It can watch people going in and out of the store. It can maneuver the main aisles, see if anybody is pickpocketing.
I'm not doing
putting stuff in their things.
I mean, not that I'm doing.
Well, I know you wouldn't do
anyway,
that,
but I'm not going to a store with damn robots.
The robot would bother you?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen
Terminator?
Have you ever seen the robot?
Yeah, well,
Bob says he's never seen. His supermarket has never had the robot.
Thank God.
Like our Giant has it. And it rolls around. Coach, have you ever seen the robot in the store?
No, but just like Pat, if I ever saw some robot patrolling the aisles, I'm out.
This thing is big. It's 5 foot tall, and it looks like what was the? I'm
not
like
RoboCop.
No.
That's what it sounds like, Johnny.
R2D2. Like it's a cylinder, but it has cameras everywhere.
Yeah, but it'll kill
and it can move, and it can constantly get all of your information.
Yeah, I'm good.
You really would that would bother you at a store? I'd feel more secure.
I would not feel more secure. What is that thing going to do?
The fact is that because at any time someone walking into that store, they're going to know everybody. They can show the parking lot. They can show the store. They can show everything. And it patrols right along the sidewalk in front of the store, too.
Seems like a good idea until it's got you on the ground, Johnny. And it's trying to have sex with you. Those sex robots. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I don't.
Sounds real fun.
But that doesn't
real
sound
secure
good.
when a robot's trying to have sex with you. And guess what? Robot's the top. Not fun now, is it?
How did that come into your mind to go there?
How did it not come into your mind?
How did it not come into his mind? The C.J. Gardner-Johnson news or no news has got you shook. It's got Pat a little shook.
It's got me as shook as sex robots.
Sex robots.
The Eagles are going to have a robot playing safety next year.
All right, we should hear something soon, right?
I think we'll hear something before 4 o'clock today.
I'd like to thank Howie Roseman, by the way, because every stinking thing that's been happening with the Philadelphia Eagles has been happening right after our show. It's like every day. As
That's
soon as our
he
show
listens
ends.
to our show, and
that's
then
good.
he goes about his business.
Well, I wish he'd come on.
So, hi, Hal.
Come on, Howie. Anytime you want, come on by and do that. I have to sneeze. So, Bob, you're going to have to fill a little airtime.
Oh, God bless you, John.
Word.
There you go.
Wow.
I like how he said you got to fill some airtime.
I got to sneeze.
And I just listened to him sneeze.
Bob just sits there.
Well, I wanted to make sure I got my God bless you in there.
We are limping to the finish line.
Makes it cross. It's seriously, though. Howie's waiting right now going, he's asking the secretary, is the Kincade show over? Is it over yet? Because I'd like to be able to release the news on C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Is this crossover going to end soon?
Yes. I mean, is it finally going to be over? So
yeah,
we'll find out.
It does seem like at around 10:30 we'll get the news.
It
Right?
doesn't seem that way.
I'll walk out of some meeting.
I've been looking. I've been trying to find some
Nothing's
news, but
happening.
it's not happening. No.
Hey, come on out today. Join Cuz and Chunas. Myself, I'll be out there too. I think Ricky Bo's going to be there too. Come celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Bet Park at the Bet Parks Casino. The sports book there is awesome. So come watch the tournament games, join the fun all day today and tomorrow. It'll be awesome. Food and drink specials, bonus bet giveaways, and tons of Bet Parks swag with your name on it. So come on out. Jameer Nelson's going to be there at the Park Sportsbook tomorrow on from 2 to 4 p.m. The party's going to start at noon. Be out there. It'll last until the last game. You got to be 21, of course, to come on out. It's going to be a great time. Go meet Cousin Chunas. Support life-saving cancer research. Join us and our generous partners, All Seasons Comfort Control, and make a donation to the AACR, the American Association for Cancer Research. Do it today because cancer research saves lives. Cousin Chunas, entertain you next. It's the first day of the tournament. They're back from Florida. I'll be out at Bet Parks later. Look forward to seeing you there. Have a great day, everybody. Got to tell you right now, that Bet Parks app's all set for you. You're going to want to be a part of it. So many games starting today at 12:15. West Virginia, 2-point favorite versus Maryland. I think I like the Terrapins in that one, so I'll go with the underdog. Penn State is a 2.5-point underdog versus Texas A&M, and I almost want to throw up a little bit because I think I may put a little shekel or two on the Penn State Nittany Lions. Houston, 4.5 to 1 to 4.5 to 1 to win the national title. Alabama 6 to 1. Kansas 12 to 1. You can get in on the Bet Parks app. Bet $10 if you're a new user, and you get $125 in sportsbook bonus if your first bet wins. Here's the clue. Bet on any number 1 seed. They're most likely going to beat that 16, and then you get the $125 in sportsbook bonus. You got to be 21. You got to be in Pennsylvania or New Jersey physically. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The John Kincade Show.
This is not radio fantasy camp. We're on the air here.
On 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Hello, Madame Dupree. I'm here for my